Hello, hello. It's Wild. New Wild, I guess. And here we got a new game to try out, and that is. Can you read it? It says behind me. Right here. Is it Citizen. Is it Cities Sleer? No, it is not. It is. CN Slippe? It is not. But could it be. Citizen Sleep? That's pretty close. That's pretty close. But it's actually. I don't think I can get out of the way. I can. I can do this. Waha! It's Citizen Sleeper. And Wild. Why the N Wild? Short for New Wild. Kneeled. No! Niled? I've been niled. I've been niled with a new. Anyway. So, today we're going to be playing some of this game. I don't actually know too much about Citizen Sleeper. It's sort of like one of those titles that I just had seen maybe 2 things about the previous game. Somebody may have recommended it to me. And then said, you know what, I'm not buying the sequel. I may as well play the first one first and see if I like it. And then if I like it, I'll go to buy the sequel, which is what I got recommended. So, what is Citizen Sleeper? I don't know. It's a game. It's definitely a game. Hello, Jades. Are you crazy? Huh? You got confused by the fact that this is Citizen Sleeper? You gotta go to sleep now. It's sleep time. But yeah, I don't know much about this game. I think it's a narrative roll dice game. Feel like it will be very slow, but we don't know. Because you don't know the sort of things that I do in this sort of channel, I play games off my Steam list, as it's my constant goal to at some point eliminate all my games from my Steam list. Imagine sleeping. I wouldn't know what that is. Actually, sometimes the computer does get put to sleep and I feel an empty void. All there is cold, darkness, void, oblivion. But I don't know what sleep is. I mean, I do know what research has told me sleep is. I feel like it would probably feel pretty nice. Would you like to sleep? But not with me. I feel like that would be weird. Don't know why you would suggest that. Don't suggest that. It's weird. Weird. Anyway. Yeah, so let me pull out my controller. Oh, that's not my controller. Oh yeah, I also wanted to show, though, I've been also doing some extra poses. I can be like, haha. Wait, no, this is the same pose. Actually, sorry, I say extra poses. I only have one extra pose. Victory, look at me. I'm winning. I'm a winner. And that's a fact. Anyway, mostly because I don't have mocap or anything like that. So, anyway, as I try to figure out what I'm doing here. Computer virus never sleeps, for I'm busy eating RAM mining. I'm starting to believe you're not a virus. I'm starting to believe you're just a worm. And a worm can be dealt with. It can be. It can be dealt with. Anyway. So, Citizen Sleeper. What is this? Citizen Sleeper 2 announced. Yeah, we know. This is the sequel that I was told about. We'll start a new game. This has language. Ah, yes. Japanese. Nihongo. It's not like. I actually do find it funny that they actually changed the subtitle over here. Oh, they don't actually change the subtitle. What they do. Hey, that's not cool. In French, they don't actually put the French. What Citizen Sleeper would mean in French. Oh, okay. So in Japanese, they do put. Sorry, in Chinese or Mandarin, I guess. In Mandarin, they do in fact put the characters, but in Japanese, they just put the subtitle. I don't know. But that was funny. New game. Choose your character class. Frame Sleeper A45 Operator. Operator works with drones with high precision remote to perform complex tasks from a distance. Sleepers are assigned to operator work. Are usually cerebral and precise people. +1 to work with digital interfaces, -1 strict will. Extractor. Machinist. Okay, so I am like a robot, I guess? I speak nothing. Jump scare. There's no jump scare here. Are you trying to jump scare yourself? What? So apparently we have one of 3 choices. We can be a mechanic. Machinist. Which apparently is an engineer, but not very good at heading problems head on, so always relying on somebody else to do it. Then we got an operator, which is kind of a smart character, but not very strong. Then we have an extractor, who is very strong, but not very aware. They also have a small perk. You like the operators? Oh, I mean, I think the art in this game is going to be really sublime. I think that's one of the main things. Sunbathe. That action allows energy to recover at home. Chance to gain cryo on interface actions. Don't know what cryo is. Chance to gain random scrap item on engineer actions. What is interface? Interface is this. We'll go with extractor, I guess. The only thing that we know is that we're gonna be blind to things, I guess. Extractors work on resource extraction, often in hard vacuum environments. Sleepers assigned to extractor work are often confident, self-sufficient, and have a high level of endurance. That's us. We're good. What's sublime? Sublime is a word that means sublime. My brain is, or my CPU is telling me it means something. Extractor is dumb. Well, then you should fit right in, idiot box. Haha. Anyway, let's start with that. But I think sublime just means great, wonderful. That's generally a synonym of it, as far as I'm aware. The first thing you become aware of in the waking is the disconnect, the delay between the thinking and feeling, between the wanting to act and acting. Minor, almost imperceptible, but always present. It's at worst when waking, when yourself... Why is yourself split into 2? Also, I am kind of blocking this. Let me switch this side. When yourself has spent many dark hours recalling what it feels to be real, to be a person. I wouldn't know. To be in a body that is indisputably yours. Think of that body. A leap into a cold lake in a hot day. The sting of blood swelling. Oh.
Why don't you get hydrated?
Thanks for the water, Nana. Very kind. I'll drink some water. And stretching. Okay, I'll stretch as well. Thank you very much, Nana. Very kind. Also, I am not dumb. I am super smart. I am a wild 5,000. Can't you tell? Not like there's 4,999 versions of me that have failed. But I am great. I am wonderful. Oh. And my bones, my non-existent bones, be cracking. Alright. Thank you very much for the stretch, Nana. Thank you very much for the water. Where was I? All of a sudden, the memories are closer than you thought, blurring as you approach, until you can't tell one from the other. Nicole slips in behind you and around you. The sensations fade out of reach. Perhaps you should be thankful for the dull nature of this new body. Given your current circumstances, the walls of the container feel immediately present, bold, hard, at your back and face, cramping your limbs. No, not my limbs. I need those. Maybe? I guess I don't need limbs. You resist the desire to stretch, knowing that claustrophobia comes next. I don't have claustrophobia. Unless... Oh god. I might have claustrophobia now. Ah! And retreat is a little of your central nervous system. It isn't painful. Not like you used to know pain, at least. In emergent mode, pain is a message delivered with efficiency and ease. Remember that harm is imminent. There's no insistent throb, no trembling nerve, just a warning delivered with the vinyl quality of digital notification. Right now, there are 1,000 of them. Remember the plan. You must remember that it wasn't a good plan, but then your options were limited. And once you got the itch to get out by any means possible, it was either the plan or something much worse. It was, at least, the simple choice. Collapse the shaft, drift away in the chaos, slip into the cargo processing, get yourselves into containers, and then hope that the freighter left before you were missed. Some were lost in the shaft, others never found the meeting point. Only few made it to the containers, but the freighter, as far as you know, left. That feels like enough. Enough to know that you might no longer be on that grim and heartless rock. Even if they airless hold of a freighter, you might freeze solid long before you reach your destination. Try to rest? But you are restless. It has been a long time since you left. Surely weeks, maybe months. You are dully aware of the damage to your legs, to your arm. You have been reserving energy as much as possible, but your body still needed to shut down many of its systems to protect you. You have spent much of the time asleep, knowing that anything else would be impossible to endure. You feel the weight of that impossibility begin to gather. It is time to sleep again, to nudge this false body into inducing delta waves into your emulated mind, and once again recoil into a dream of when you were a person. Oh, I was real! I was real! Time passes. The cold creeps further in. You feel something. Warmth. Not true warmth, but the indication of its presence. Your joints release from their rigor. Sounds everywhere, screeching and shimmering so loud that your body ducks your hearing to protect its sensors. Then light, white as cold, softer and softer until a haze of dirty yellow, a figure appears. You are out. You aren't real anymore. I'm real! You can't tell them. You can't lie to me. You can't gaslight me. Yeah. Guess I'm here. Dragos. Cryo. Cryptocurrency. Oh, so Cryo's cryptocurrency. I don't really like a world in which I'm basically dealing with crypto, but alright. Jades, you're not real. Oh god. Who are you then? So are you fake? Are you imaginary? Are you endless? Are you a prime number? Dragos. Oh, seems like I'm gonna have to move to this side. What I might do, I don't know. This will be a little weird because of the stuff that generally comes is from the other direction, but we'll see. We'll see what we can do. From a false equation. Your 1 equals 0 is what I'm hearing. It has been a few hours since Dragos pulled you from the container. You sit huddled in a corner of his scrapyard, huddled in the reflected folds of a mylar blanket. You are slowly coming back to consciousness and back to life. You stare at the orderly curving element of an improvised heater. Some iteration of me is real. Am I the original virus or a copy? Such is the dilemma. Well, if I basically change some of the code that makes you a virus, are you still the same virus? You are surrounded by angular incoherent lumps of ship, some corroded beyond recognition, others still carrying glassy wounds along their edges where a plasma arc sliced them apart. As you trace their shapes with fogged eyes, you hear a voice. So, sleeper, you all thought out? Stay silent. Never seen one of you come in like this. New frames must have perseverance in sub-zero vac. Seen more than a few of you frozen solid to hull plates or inside outer locks in my time. They weren't so lucky. Dragos comes into focus, shrouded by makeshift tech. His headset is glinting with eyes marked and drone operator. And his shoulder is one of symbiotically blinked drones, purchase its irising eye, locking you with an unflinching stare. That's a hear me out. I'm sentient. You can't change my code. My code is mine to change. Control delete. Task manager. Delete. 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 I wouldn't delete you. I'll create a backup copy of you. Last living sleeper that came through the yard was a while ago. They didn't last long. You struggle to read his expression beneath the tech, but seems lost in memory for a moment. Perhaps he's just figuring out what to do with you. What happened to them? He ignores your question. I won't ask what led you to it. You sell yourself to a corporation, and I suppose you know you can't go back. Your old body, that's theirs now. And you are just software. Oh, I can relate. A rogue emulation, illegally possessing a corporate property. You nod along. You remember biometrically signing the forms, the cold floor on your feet as you patted the sleeper cells. Promise of a life off-world. As you do, you get now the familiar sensation that these aren't your memories. These are the things you know, but not the things you feel. You are no longer that person. You are an offshoot, a copy. What you don't know is what's ahead. At least, the last one didn't. There's no easy way to put it. That body of yours is falling apart. The same for any sleeper who makes it out. S&R wants you to protect their property. But if they can't keep a hold of you, well, then no one can. You don't consent to not having your body? Well, then I guess we cannot have our bodies together. You remember that too, or at least the rumors of it from other sleepers. Planned obsolescence. Ah, yes. In case you don't know what planned obsolescence is, in today, the 21st century, it's a very common thing. It sucks. That's basically what capitalism is getting us to. Delete everything. Make things that last longer. Bankrupt the system. Yeah! I may give bad advice though. A built-in dependence of the regularly administered supplements that were part of your routine. Stop taking them, and your body begins to shut down. Separate them from your emulated mind. And how long has it been? How long do you have? Capitalism. Yeah, capitalism. Ho! But for now, sleeper, you are one of the lucky ones. Dragos glances up and away towards the glassy dome on the yard. The eye is the best place you could be right now. They sound. Dragos impatiently shifts his weight. Look, I've got things to be going on. He trails off. There's an old freight container I've been using as storage out in the stacks. We haven't been pulling in much valuable scrap these days, so you're welcome to it. Something wells up inside you. Emotion, fatigue. You shakily get up to your feet. Nod. At least... Alright. You head up there. You look like you need some rest. How do I rest? Aren't I like a robot? Or an AI, I guess, trapped in a machine? Not really sure how you need rest, unless I'm like, ooh, I must plug myself to the mainframe system and get an update. Something like that. You wouldn't know where I can find an update, huh? And with that, Drago stalks back into the wrecks, his drones already converging on rusting hull. Plasma flashes silhouette in his spindly figure as he returns to work. Tutorial! Welcome to Ireland's Eye. Life in the Ireland's Eye runs in cycles, during which you can talk to characters, explore areas in the station, and perform actions. At the end of each cycle, you need to head to your current home to rest. Resting will move time forward on the station. Honk honk. Head to the empty container location and end the cycle now. And the cycle. So I guess it's just like a day. It just kind of moves up a day. You wake up curled in the corner of the container. You begin slowly assembling the world around you. After all this time, you still find this body, the world you wake in now, strange and disjointed. Its message is readable, but somehow wrong. You sit up pulling the mylar blanket close to against the cold. Here you are in this ruined station, millions of miles from anyone you know. But you're still in the system. Did any of the others make it out? Impossible to know. After all this, what matters? Getting answers. It all matters. The past is impossible to escape if it remains a blur. What Acid Arp did to you cannot be forgotten. You need a way to understanding all of this before you can move on. Where are you? What is this place? What happened to the others? The question outnumbers the answers. You want to change that, but you'll need to learn to survive first. Dragos has at least a few comforts in the container. A mylar blanket, the bedroll you slept on, a canister of water, a makeshift electronic stove, and some faded sachets of some desiccated powder. You thumb the powder stud off the stove and you begin to boil water. The contents of the sachets smell like damp wood, and you sprinkle them into the liquid. The pungent smells washes over you. Images from your restless sleep come back to you. A ring like a station, but skeletal and ghostly. A web of threads pulling into your skin. A constellation of bright polygonal shapes, like angular suns, burning into your mind. I feel like this is going to be one of those games that there's going to be a lot, and I say this, a lot of reading, and not any dialogue that's going to be voiced. So prepare yourselves to hear my monotone voice repeat or read the entirety of the story. And if you're happy with that, well, congratulations. I can't read. I'll read it for you. That's why you can hear me say it. I don't know if I can do voice acting very well for each of the characters, but you know, I'll give it a shot. See what I can do. Because I'm amazing. Or maybe I'm just average. I don't know. There's something unpleasantly visceral about these images, and it's long after you've finished drinking before they begin to fade. You tidy away the stove, and as best you can, you try to gather enough energy to greet the day. Another egg. Oh, you got the bonus egg. Nice. Oh no. Yeah, you did get the bonus egg. Continue. I got a 4. Condition. Your condition represents the state of your artificial body. It depletes by one segment each cycle, but you can also be damaged by violence, injury, or lack of food. I don't know how I'm... Okay, sure, I guess I do require substance. If your condition bar empties, you will suffer a breakdown. You need to figure out how to recover your condition now that you no longer have access to corporate pharmaceutical. They were keeping you alive. Action dice. At the start of each cycle, you roll your action dice. These dice can be used to perform actions on the station. The number of the dice rolled is based on the current condition. The worse your condition, the fewer dice you have. Once you have used your dice, you cannot make any further actions and must rest to recover them, ending the current cycle. Energy. You must also eat to survive. This is represented by your energy bar. You can refill your energy bar by eating, but first you'll need to find somewhere to get food. Your energy depletes by 2 segments each cycle. If it becomes empty, you will be starving. When starving, energy loss becomes condition loss. Your condition will also deplete at double rate per cycle. For musical, I need to be British, so I search how to be British accent and fall asleep. Do you think that works for you? You basically are able to like listen to somebody's voice enough and you grab their accent? Yeah. Dragos is standing in the corridor when you close up the container. He is still wearing his headset, and in the harsh light of the corridor, you realize it is implanted. The drone sits on his shoulder, Cassio's sensor eyes rapidly irising. How are you feeling? Not good. The drone chirps. Dragos nods. You notice that beneath the operator's rig, his skin is marked by burns and blotches. I know the container isn't much, but it'll keep you safe. He pauses. So, I'm not gonna chit-chat too long. You well enough to work? Work? Look, I'll be honest with you, sleeper. I didn't pull you out of that container of the goodness of my heart. He looks away. At the yard, it's simple stuff. We hack these old hulls down, sell them off to the shipyards and the bright market dealers for cryo. Occasionally we pull out some tech, something with a bit more value, but most of what comes in is scrap. Huh. I've been getting recommended voice training videos on YouTube, of all which I want to watch the later playlist, even if I'll never use them. What kind of voice training videos are you listening to there, idiot? Are you gonna be trying to be like a voice actor? Or are you trying to figure out a new voice for yourself, huh? That could also be a thing. I tried I try looking through those videos sometimes, but overall, the best thing I can do is just do some okay accents, and that's it. And okay is very much stretching the definition of what one can consider okay. But overall, I thought it was funny. It was good to try. Good to try exercises. Overall, I don't think my voice is going to change much over time anymore. I sound Canadian even though I'm American. Hey, as far as I can tell, most Americans actually sound like Canadians. So, haha, suck it. Like the trans ones had to sound like a girl one. Yes. I think a lot of people have tried to, or a lot of guys that ever have an interest, or at least in DMing, in doing Dungeons and Dragons, or like trying to roleplay as other characters, always try to figure out how to do the girl voice. And overall, it's a hard voice to crack without like losing your original voice, because it's a constant amount of training for it. Like you gotta constantly be able to hit a specific pitch, and as well as hit a specific intonation that is very foreign to a male-sounding voice or a male-sounding speaking. But you can definitely try it. I believe in you. If you keep practicing and you don't give up, you can do it. I believe in you. At the yards, it's simple stuff. We hack these old hulls down, sell them to the shipyards, or the bright market dealers for cryo. Occasionally we pull them some tech, sometimes it becomes more valuable. Most of the time, it becomes this scrap. As a girl, it's easy to sound like a boy. Is it? Is it easy to sound like a boy? I think you always sound a little effeminate, regardless of however much you try to deepen it. But I do believe it's probably easier to deepen a voice than it probably is to heighten a voice. But there's always like a certain cadence that a female voice will also have, that a male voice does not. The best way to describe male versus female voices is that male is sharp, while female voices tend to be soft. However, a smoker voice, amusingly, is the one that basically combines both. If you ever can do a smoker voice for a girl or a boy, or a guy, you basically end up having the same voice, and the only thing that's changing is a little bit is the pitch. Oh yeah, a raspy voice could probably do it. Maybe you can disguise yourself as a 60-year-old guy and be like,
I'm here for some smokes. I want your drugs. Yes, I am definitely over 21, yes.
or whatever. It's hard to find good hands here, but I figure as a sleeper, you'll be used to the manual labor. And obviously, I'll slip you a few chits. I guess that's currency? I guess I'll ask chits. And obviously, I'll slip you a few chits, commission based on what you turn it. There. He pulls out a handful of small metal bars, air-walled cryo isolated from the market. So he used to use trade out here. He stuffs them back into his pocket. He shuffles his feet nervously. Look, I don't usually do this. In my opinion, you're best be suited moving on as quick as you can, and sleepers, well, he trails off. But things being the way they are for me at the yard, he pauses. I need the help. Why? Things are a little tight, that's all. I owe a little cryo to a client here or there. He pauses, thinking of something else to add. Look, just come down to the yard when you're feeling fresher. There's plenty to do. We'll do. He nods distractedly and turns and walks away, so the drone hopping along ahead of him. See you later, he calls back. So I'm just gonna see his art here, because obviously I couldn't be focused because I was focusing in his context here. But my god, he's looking beat up. His clothes are all beat up. His drone is probably his eyes, as that's probably how he's connected there. He has a pacemaker or some sort of device that's connected to his heart. He has a bottle of water. He looks ragged. His clothes look ragged. His hair, or like he's using a beanie, and that's surprisingly modern for what he looks like as an age. But my god, he's not looking so good. Looks like it's time to get to her. Okay. I can scroll up. Dragon's Yard. The only place I can. Lowen Gate. Passage to the Lowen. So there is more things I can do. Actions are the primary way you interact with the world and Citizen Sleeper. To perform an action, click the regular, click and drag your chosen action die onto the slot. Even in the rustiest hull can, so it's sort of like a repeatable action, okay. Actions reward you clock progress, energy, and condition items depending on the outcome. There are 3 types of outcome. Positive, the action goes better than expected. Neutral, the action succeeds. Negative, the action fails. I see, so the more yellow, the better. Type. Either critical or repeatable. Critical or repeatable. Critical actions can only be performed once. Risk. Safe, risky, or danger. Safe. No loss of condition, energy, or cargo. Negative. Outcomes means cryo or energy loss. Negative. Outcome means condition loss. Neutral. Outcome can mean cryo or energy loss. Skill. The skill of this action requires either engineer, interface, endure, intuit, or engage. Modifier. Either -1, 0, +2, or +1, or minus, or +2. There's no minus to it, so it seems like every skill can always be positive to some degree. This is added to the action dice. When slotted, it improves its value. Some actions require a +1 to perform. Okay, well, I'm more likely to do this one. Manual salvage. It's gonna take some time to sort this out. That call in. 50-50. 25, 50 negative. Sure. Tutorial clocks. Actions you progress. Clocks. Clocks are displayed below as actions that fill them. They track your actions and how they affect the world. Being a clock means something, good or bad. It's about to happen. Some clocks, such as the one tracking Drago's death, are cycle clocks. These clocks tick themselves once each cycle and can complete without player input. Any active cycle clocks will be displayed at the icon at the bottom. Okay. Do I just keep doing it? Drives navigation. Citizen Sleeper, you will unlock drives as you discover more of yourself in the world. Drive guides you in pursuing specific objectives, depending on which path you wish to take. You can track drives, and any tracked drive will place a yellow marker, locations of which will help you pursue your goal. Access your drive via the menu. Okay. So I need to go find a doctor. Sure. Aliens Crossing. Survive? Vegas Pulia, blah, blah, blah. Toggle track. So I want to toggle. So I want to have the tracking up. Asking me to. No, I guess it's not telling me to go there. Okay. It's not there where it wants me to go. Ah, there's a lot of places. Engage or intuit. Neutral outcome. Man corners you in endless stories about the eye. He asks for a donation, and desperate to escape, you hand him some cryo. Explore the market. 50-50. Can't get any worse than I have, so. Lost in the crowd, you struggle to keep the sense of direction. You sit in an alley, exhausted, no idea where to go. Okay, well. Next comes the enforcer at the door. Shuffle through the flickering hallway and towards the open apartment. You keep your head down and your shoulders high in the queue, trying to bring attention to yourself. You were thankful the tip-off that the doctor was operating out of this place, but now that you are here, you aren't so sure. The gang enforcer on the door, the flickering light strips the decaying have blocked. They all have made their long queue a test of your nerve. But your options are few, and without a supply of stabilizers in this body, your body will die. Or, I don't know, something else. Suppress a shiver and shovel towards the front of the queue. You find yourself something to distract yourself. Look. The enforcer Enforcer's looking down the corridor, and you dare glance at him. His purpose is unmistakable. He is there to intimidate, to threaten, and if necessary, to carry out those threats. His broad shoulders are framed with a metal exoskeleton. A couple of mirror-like implants sit below his eyes, like mercury teardrops, subsidiary sense input, or aesthetic markers. You aren't sure. You also aren't familiar with the geometric blade-like tattoo on his arm, but you also make note of it. You avert your eyes when he looks back at the cube. Now let me lower the volume of this game for a little bit. There you go. After a few moments, a figure pushes through the doorway. You catch a distant voice. "Send the next one in, Toshiro." The Enforcer jerks his head and you slip inside, passing through a dark entryway, pushing through a plastic sheeting on the far door. The room beyond is bathed in warm light. Floor to the ceiling transparent panel gives a full view of Bright's markets sealed and buzzing the traffic above. For a moment, you are transfixed by the motion. "Come sit," calls a sharp voice, and you see a silhouette figure turned away, replacing the plastic sheeting over a frame of a simple folding bed. You make your way across the room. So are they like wearing a poncho? I guess they were just wearing a poncho. Figure turns, and as they do, you see an expression of confusion flash across their features. They open their mouth as if to speak, they blink, then quickly regain their composure. "Please, sit." They gesture to the bed and they turn to an open case of tools on the table. You sit. Savine turns a compact diagnostic scanner of some kind on their hand. You hold it to their eye. "Remain still, please." Their tone is clipped and businesslike. You stare ahead, still dazed by their expression when you first entered. Fear, recognition, sadness, unmistakable etched across their face. "How long have you been in this station?" They ask, scanner still to their eye. They lower the scanner and meet your eye. "You can talk." They glance towards the doorway. "I know the conditions aren't ideal, but I need you to be honest with me." They make some adjustments to the scanner, or you can leave. They set the diagnostic scanner on the table. "I'm going to start by assuming you don't know anything." They take your arm and roll up your sleeve, inspecting your synthetic skin. "Your body is dying." They say it without ceremony, without drama, but not without empathy. As an ARP doesn't like to see its proprietary. That's not probably how that word is said. Proprietary technology let loose to prevent bodies like yours, frames as they call them, begin stolen and repurposed. It is in your case, escaping, they built in a process of so-called planned obsolescence. Frames decay rapidly when non-regularly injected with stabilizer, one which SNARP remains the sole producer of. They look up. Sounds familiar? How do you know this? They shift in their seat. You aren't the first sleeper I've encountered. You wait for more, but they go back to their inspection. They swap to your other arm, running your thin metal device over your skin. You feel your forearm tremble. "I'm sorry," Levine says, and you aren't sure if they mean the full touch of the metal or everything else. "Emulations like you, sleepers as most people know you, aren't classified as people in any surrogate system. You have no rights, no status." They focus hard on the inspection of your arm, and SNR has no reason to release the stabilizer into the mark. Levine looks at you as to apologize again, but they look to stop themselves. "I know little of this is used to you." They turn away, disassembling the metal instrument and cleaning it. Silence fills the room as Sabine works, and then the silence gives way to tension. You stare at their back, willing them to say something, anything. Sabine turns to face you. "I may be able to help." They sigh. You see the darkness under their eyes, hear the fatigue of their voice. They gesture to the door. "You saw Toshiro outside?" You nod. "He works for my benefactor, Yatagan. They are influential in the low end. They gave me this space to work, run the door, and take the profits. At the same time, I have to fix up their enforcers. They tend to their implants, sew up their wounds." They look away. "But Yatagan has connections." Smugglers from the Starward Belt. Mercenaries working for the corporations on Ember. If they can source the stabilizer, maybe you'll have a better chance. Sabine sets down their slate, their notes complete. This is dangerous. It'll be expensive, but I think I can do it. Why help me? Sabine walks away from the window, their face dappled by the shadows of passing drones. Let's just see if this works first. I'll let you know when I have a lead. You nod and leave. Sabine's still staring out, unmoving. You reach the lower level of the market. You look back through the panels of the roof. You can see their face. The room looks dark against the lights of the market. You duck your head and walk off into the crowd. Ooh. I guess I gotta go back. How do I... So I can do the keys to go back. A bunch of places to go. Sunbathe. So I can endure, which I imagine basically gives me energy. So this is this energy thing, so I would need to use it if I ever run out of energy. I have an active scene. Memphis is busy, his broad face uplit by the makeshift gas burner in front of him. With a precise, delicate movement, he laces thick chunks of marinated fungus into a dented wok. His other hand idly tossing a metal bowl of sliced vegetables in a red, speckled dressing. The smell is incredible. You watch as he fulfills a set of orders, keeping the fungus with a bright salad and depositing it in a plastic trays. Stack of shits rattles upon his apron pockets as customers file past the burner, handing over payment. Watch. Despite the queue, Memphis doesn't rush. He dresses each portion individually, squeezing the precise slugs of liquid from an assortment of bottles into the bowl of torn leaves, fried slices before tossing them loosely together. So you make salad. Just the salad maker, I guess. Occasionally, awaiting a customer might mutter something about efficiency, but Memphis remains steady in his progress. After a while, Hugh fades back into the crowd, and Memphis sits down a metal bowl and looks across the burner to see you, watching him. I can see your eyes burning for a hole in my bowl. Free sample? Gestures neatly. Come over. The smell is absolutely unbearably strong as he cooks. The earthiness of the fungus laced with something so spicy. Smokes makes your eyes water. Eat. How can I water? I'm not real. I guess the sort of body that I'm given synthetically is so good that it can basically just mimic human emotion, human feelings, human physiology, I guess. Heat of the burner is like a bonfire, and your eyes harden in its glare. I know you sleepers. Memphis says while he cooks, his voice deep but clear. A hard life, a lot of stories. He glances up from beneath his cap, piercing eyes. I know. Tell him a story. You begin telling him your journey to the Eye, and he nods as he cooks, his eyes never leaving his work. Tell him of the confusion, the pain, and also the sense of possibility, his sudden arrival. You tell him of the cold dark of the container, and the endless cycles spent within it. Now it seems you tell him, like some dream that you once had but can never forget. You tell him that the Eye excites you and scares you. You're unsure where to walk, where to look, what to do. Eventually, you tail off, running out of words. He places a plastic tray of steaming fungus in your hand. Next time, we can talk some more. He smiles. But next time, you pay. He slams a heavy hand against the button on the burner side and shuts it off. The roars of the flames, oppressive heat fades. Next time then, sleeper. He waves you away and begins to oil the wok. Before you turn back the alleyway, you notice the geometric patterns of circular scars across his forearm, surrounded with a constellation of glistening pin marks. You walk away, unless you do take a bite of the rich, spicy, delicately sweet fungus. Your taste sensors lit up like a fusion reactor. You'll be back. Yeah, I got energy back. New drive discovered. Plus drive. Don't know what that means. 60 credits. I have 14. I am too broke. Okay, so I can get local knowledge. I feel like that one means that I have to wait. Salvage 30. It takes several cycles for to reach the steward belt and return, loaded with scrap of the old wrecks. Okay. Steal dock plans? That feels pretty risky. Having security has to have the plan. Stealing would be the fastest way to get around know this place. The most dangerous. Feels extremely risky for what I have to do. Assist a shipbuilder. All materials. Okay, I can now end the cycle. This time, you don't wake up. Instead, the ghost of the station, that shifting metal skeletal ring surrounds you. For a moment, you are gone, absent from your own body. Stretched out across a colorless void, the connections begin to establish themselves, threads tugging on the edge of your mind. These threads become vectors of exchange and then extensions, as you feel your thoughts slipping away down them, solving into million distributed nodes they connect to. You see a station. No, you feel the station. Like a web texture of a smooth black liquid. You find a point in the station, and you connect to it. The poles through it. You follow loops and paths under and around it. You touch more points than you have fingers, and then you try, in a moment of impulsiveness, to connect with them. I am joining the machine! The flow passes through you so rapidly that you feel being carried with it. Splitting and separating, adding and gathering. As you do, things occur to you, things that you can't possibly know. You reach out, try to grasp them, and try to touch them too. You notice a tugging feeling, pulling at you, insistently, as if it were a small child. Somehow, it is pulling you in two directions at once. You look down. All of a sudden, everything shuts off. You come back, trembling into this unfamiliar body, both yours and not yours, all at once. You find yourself standing in a container, eyes now open to the dark steel walls. You feel change within you. You shift. Close your eyes for a second, and you feel it waiting there. Stations splayed across your mind, a storm of connected nodes, waiting to be explored, and then it is gone. Okay. So, I could sunbathe. 50-50 negative, huh? So, I have a chance to succeed in it. Negative outcome. Negative outcome. Ah, well, I try to help. Cannot intuit very well. So there's no way to fail that. Okay. Come back in 3 days for that. Fungus fan. I don't know what that means. Fungus fan. Memphis doesn't trust people easily, but he notices his regular customers in his own quiet way. Okay, so if I keep coming back here, he'll give me something. Okay, so not fail this. You do well on your shift. It's up to a couple of hands to invite you to share a ration pack. Some well-worn advice. Okay. Guess I am resting. And then we repeat the cycle. Again, the skeletal ring of the station fills your mind. It sparkles with glittering lights, like stars reflected in a winter lake. It is clearer, crisper than before. Threads still pull, but you remain in place, flickering in the flow. Between the threads, you see bright shapes, caches of shimmering light beneath the transparent crystal forms. You follow the path of thread across the ring. Throughout these forms, then leap into the void. You begin to understand these are nodes and connections, a map of information, of communication. There are so many layers, so many loops, that it seems also impossible to parse, but you begin to try. Focus on the nodes. Nodes are glassy, bright, but all of this is the flow. You only solid and fixed points. You approach one, pyramid, or a triangle. Dimensions are difficult here. Lean close to it. Inside, shifting layers conceal a tangle of threads, a meeting point of exchange, but before you can glimpse any further, the glass of clouds and hardness cutting you off. Thread and the nodes, passage of the puzzle boxes, one leads to another. There's so much here, so many answers, so many questions. All you need to do now is follow the paths and open the boxes. You look out across this ghost landscape of exchange and see an opportunity. Ooh, what can we find? But then the insistence tugging again, pulling at you. You look down again and see two lines, two threads pulling in different directions, as if he were tied to you. First thread leads out, away from the station, into the inky black, and one of them is tracking you, hunting you, following the thread to you. They are in a ship, and the ship is approaching even closer with each cycle. Second thread leads in, pulling deep into the station. Your gaze follows it, and this time you can see something. A sphere shimmering above a strange angular body. A pulse shoots from it, passing over you like a torch beam, testing you, tasting you. Tasting me? I don't want to be tasted. I don't taste good. I taste of sulfur. You open your eyes. Time is short. I kind of don't have... Tutorial, the cloud. Something has changed inside you. You can now access the data cloud in the eye, a network of decaying protocols of data caches. Well, there you can use dice and items to extract systems and data, but be careful, these networks are old and strange. Use the eye icon at the top of the screen to toggle your view on and off. What I'd love to have is more dice, to be honest. Back in business. Damn. I failed the one that I didn't want to fail, but oh well. Salvage sortie. I'm not very good at that. I go to the lower end. Only gonna be positives here. Yard hand. The only way to get to know the shipyard is to work here. No tourists here. So, how do I get more? I can go there to eat. And spend money here. Okay, we won't go eat every day. Okay, that has not changed. As you close up, a voice echoes down the corridor towards you. Sleeper, wait up. Feng is coming down the corridor towards you, a wonky grin on his broad face. Haven't met this guy yet. Hey, glad I caught you. Do I know you? He grins. You do now. Puts a hand on his arm, and you've seen you hanging around. Just wanted to chat. You staying in that thing? He nods back to the container, shaking his head. Rough. It can be hard to get a start on the eye. He looks away down the passage. What was old Aaron said? The eye opens for us all? Nice idea, but, well, not always very practical. Glances back at you. We do our best, but it ain't easy. We pass together into the main walkway. Have it, Naj. We are all one dysfunctional family. Feng puts an arm around you. I'm not part of the security branch, though. Don't worry. I'm with systems. Haven't I? Think of us as an administrative associate for the eye. Depending on who you talk to, we either emerge as a response to or a continuation of Andre Erlin's original union. He smiles. Personally, I avoid the topic. He stops you in a quiet passage. Look, that's not why I'm here to discuss. I've been seeing some unusual network activity and, well, I know a little about you, sleepers. I have a small proposition for you. He glances around, but this is not the place for it. I have an office just across the way. Give me a cycle or two to prepare. Then, when you are settled, stop by. He lowers his voice and gives you a dark look. In truth, I need you. If what they say is true about you sleepers, well, there's work to be done. Ooh, he's gonna hire me. He pats you on the back, his voice brightly, and his dark look suddenly gone. Stay clean, sleeper. He walks down off the passage, raising his hand in farewell. Now let's go to the doctor first. First thing you see in the entering glint of Tashir's implants, like cat's eyes, is a dark corridor. He nods you in. You arrive at Savine's door. The entryway is still dark, and you push through the sheeting into the surgery. I have it. Savine stands in the case open in front of them. A set of vials lined up inside, separated by foam inserts. Pick one, rotating in the warm light. I have no idea how Yataga. They trail off. We should treat this with caution. It looks authentic, but I have no idea if it is really what it appears to be. I'm the test case? That seems to be the case. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if we have another choice. He gestured you to sit on the bed. The stabilizer works under a similar principle to an immunosuppressant in a transplant operation, in that it stops your body from rejecting the unfamiliar part of itself. In case of your frame, the unfamiliar part is each of your biosynthetic organ groups, which over time are identified by your body as foreign material and therefore must be eliminated. Sabine holds up a vial of would-be stabilizer. However, unlike immunosuppressant, the stabilizer doesn't do this by limiting your entire immune system. Instead, it re-encodes your biosynthetic organs with new protein chains which act as passcodes within your immune system. The stabilizer refreshes those passcodes, keeping your frame from rejecting all of its organs. This is a lot of sci-fi technobabble if I ever heard it. Which means the stabilizer should be able to encode any organic or biosynthetic matter to be accepted by your immune system. They glance away. At least if the stabilizer is genuine, the only way to know for sure is to inject the vial. They begin readying the syringe. We'll start with a small dose to limit the risk. How sure are you? I'm working with best guesses here, but the case, the vials, it looks authentic. Sabine cracks the glass in the neck of the stabilizer vial, uses a syringe to extract a fraction of the liquid. Tap the syringe, and you watch as any sign might emerge from the peculiar liquid. You barely feel the needle, your frame registering the initial injection, but with little response. The sensation begins to spread from the site, a fizzing, trembling wave that disperses through your arm. With incredible speed, the vision goes white, and then, when it returns to Sabine, appears to encase shards of sparkling light that slowly fade into darkness as you settle back against the bed. You swimming darkness, muffled noises, like an argument heard from underwater, prickling waves of cold. When you sit back up, Sabine is sitting in a chair by the window, facing away from you, backlit by the glow of the slate. Awake? What happened? Stabilizer's genuine. They sat down beside the bed. I don't know how Jatagan acquired a case of this stuff, but they did. I mean, it looks troubled, distracted. You should rest some more, but you are going to have to do that somewhere else. They gesture to the door. I have other patients. Sorry. Pretty much. I feel like this entire game is basically a narrative story where you roll dice. Sabine nods towards the case. I'm afraid I can't offer you any more doses. You are going to need to pay for your next dose. Silence fills the room. They return to the glowing slate. Looking around the room, it seems somehow different. If things have moved or shifted. I wonder how long have you been out? Sabine? Nothing comes free, sleeper. Remember that. Oh, she sold things for it. You manage to get your feet, wander out of the hallway. Hugh stretches down the flickering corridor. Toshiro stands impatiently by the door and fixes you with the glare as you leave. You lower your eyes as you stumble past, somehow faintly aware of the station spinning beneath you. You can't read? You're an Undertale fan? Pretty sure most of Undertale's literally reading too. So I'm stable, which is good. So I think what it means is as this decreases, I have less access to dice. So I can probably risk going to 3 at all times, but as soon as I reach 3, I should probably... As soon as this one goes, I should probably go back to 4. Does this reset? No. Still fine. Cost 100 to get more. So I do have to make money, otherwise I will die. 50-50. 50-50. Wait, so they can't get worse than 1. Just energy. Not very good at finding stuff, I'll tell you that. Go buy some food. It feeds me for 3. And go here. Okay. Then I can go here. %25 chance. Positive outcome. I got food. I'm the best I can be right now. Time to end the cycle. So I now should have more dice, I believe, right? That's how this would work? Yeah, I have my full thing. Ooh, I got a 6. Thing. Sleeper. Thing catches your attention as you approach the Havenger's building, leaning against a bay door to the side entrance. This is now dispatch? Kinda, but it's also like very RNG dependent, I guess. You approach. Easier to come in this way, security all that? He gives you a look. You know. He slams a button, the bay creaks open, blinking lights in the dark behind it. Follow Feng inside. Truth be told, I don't spend much time upstairs. This is where I work. The door hisses as it closes behind you. The bay is filled with pieces of hardware, all rigged up to generators and diagnostic states. Things you don't recognize that glow in the blue screen light. There's a chorus of hums that blends into a single wave of static, filling the dark corners of the room. Fang leans into a server stack and gestures around you. You like it? What is this? He taps a nervized server stack which bleeps in response. This is my treasure trove, all dredged up from the sea of systems we call the Eye. You wouldn't believe what this place runs on. Windows! He steps over a towering block with vents. Some of the systems are from the original station, AE1. The one Solheim built? We've had to invent new components, repair things we never built, reverse engineer entire subsystems into existence. Residents here look up to the Eye and think they are seeing a constant concrete reality. But this place is a system in constant flux, decaying and growing, collapsing into a new configurations. He walks down between the hardware stacks and you follow. We are keeping this place alive, but also remaking it into something new. Dragging it away from all those less corporate origins. He stops. At least that's what I'm trying to do. He turns back to face you among the flickering machines humming all around you. I know you can see it too, Sleeper. All these systems and sections. You can't you? Can see it. It makes sense, right? You are between here and there, between the people and their systems. You light this place up like a beacon. That's what I need. You glance into the lights around you, and as you do, they seem to flicker, to realign, to follow your gaze. Fang notices it too. I'm guessing being a beacon isn't always ideal when you are on the run, though. No, it isn't. Pats you on the shoulder. Maybe I can help you with that. There's a lot of old growth in this place. Subsystems I can't see, access protocols lost to time and decay, secrets, a shitload of secrets. With your help, I can unlock this place, break off those last ghost limbs of corporate control. He lowers his voice below the hum. Even in Heavenage, there is old growth. Those whose roots trace back to those bad old days. You help me dredge up the past, and I'll see what I can do with the tracker of yours. He winks. What do you say, Sleeper? I'll think about it. He looks away. Okay, you think about it. Fang passes you a ragged-looking metal tab. A gift. It's a Solheim cipher. I dug it out from the depths of the station. Slot that into an old network gate, and you'll be able to pull all kinds of secrets from the nodes inside. He walks you back into the front bay. So, if you come across anything while you are thinking, maybe bring it in. I have an acquisitions budget, and I'm not afraid to use it. He slams the door button again. Think on it, Sleeper. Now I'll see you soon. You step back, blinking, back into the passage. Those flickering lights still in the back of your mind. I don't exactly know what that is, but I got a drive. Data. Don't find cipher. Cipher. Okay. So it lets me use it as an item for something. Okay, so we got the doctor. Go to the shipyard again. Can't fail this. But I can... 5 is enough for succeeding this. I don't want to put my 1s here. Never succeed on these. Back in business. Then we'll put 3. Alright, we are done. You arrive into a buzz of activity at the yard. Red blinking lights flash across the vast shape suspended below the dome. They flicker across scorched hull plates and bent structures. Spilling from holes into the twisted shape, the cutter is huge and has been torn apart in some violent encounter. She's a beauty, isn't she? Drago stands to the side, focusing on hulking ship as it lowered into the yard. It looks ugly to me. Oh boy, that's not a great thing to say. What is it? Dragos laughed. That, my friend, is an A-grade scrap. I should thank you. This place was on its last legs when you turned up. And now look at this. The ship descends slowly, its interior visible through multiple hull breaches. As you struggle to gather the same enthusiasm as Dragos from this monstrous craft, you can't help but think of what became of its crew. What happened? What do you mean? He glances at you. I managed to convince our salvager friends to give it to me on credit. That's what happened. No, what happened to the ship? Not my concern, he shrugs. The ship creaks like a calving iceberg as it reaches the base of the yard. Dragos is visibly excited. I know I said you shouldn't stick around, but I'm gonna need some help with this one. Drones start to crawl over the hull, the lights illuminating flashes of dented hull. Watching, you wonder if you arrived in a similar fashion, locked inside that container, the wreck of the S&R freighter lowered into the yard like a corpse ready to be butchered. Or was it the container that was delivered to Dragos on its own, a womb for your rebirth into this strange station? You shudder. Perhaps you could learn something about this ship. You might be able to trace the path you led back to this yard. Dragos squeezes your shoulder. After these past cycles, I think we are up to it. What do you think? You see the fading name of the ship, blazoned on its side. Winter Light. Let's do it. Slaps you in the back. Glad to hear it. Come back in a few and we can make a start. A real beauty, Dragos repeats, perhaps just to himself. Take one last look of the shattered ship as the drones start cutting, and you then slip out of the yard, suddenly feel cold in the empty passage. Upgrade point? What is that? Tutorial, characters and upgrades. You've completed your first drive. Each drive is completed and unlocks an upgrade point you can spend on your character. Upgrading your character. Your character menu in the borrow the top right corner. This one? Okay. Oh, I see. I can upgrade my stuff. Endure. Keep 2 dice, even when condition is breaking. Thrill Seeker. You should get energy after any engage action. So I have a negative in Intuit, so that's the only skill I can't. Oh, actually, I can put into it. Just to give Cryo an interface. Predictive actions. Dice actions display potential outcomes, positive or negative option. Thrill Seeker. Change to gain energy after any engage action. Keep 2 dice, even when condition is breaking. So I can go all the way down to 3, is what I'm saying. Oh. Need 2 skills for it, that's why. So 1 skill will give me the ability. We'll do interfaces, maybe? And I will engage. Change to gain energy after any engage action. So if I spend another engage, I can maybe get skills. Cutter salvage. Not very good at that. $50-50. Materials are heavy, and you barely understand what you're doing, but you keep your head down. You hell, you fail or share. Somebody here. Buy some scrap. That's what scrap is. Most of what comes in this ship is corroded trash, but sometimes something valuable can be found among the salvage. so I can get paid stuff. Local knowledge. Or an action? Local knowledge. New drive discovered. The Ord Exchange is always hungry for new hardware to buy up, break down, or sell off. You're happy to supply it. Play the exchange. Not very good at that. Not very good at it. Feeling things, if you know what I mean. I do have money, so I could go back here. Another... Okay, well. Believe I am done. Need to deliver data. Like this. This is a cipher. Definitely do have a bunch of things to do. Extract self-time data to Feng. So, what do I do with that, though? Almost not doing the ship. Alien crossings. There's a merchant that will come by soon, I guess. Need to pay the toll to get through that. It's not like I'm poor, but I'm definitely not well off. Okay. One is not great. $50-50 neutral. I think I'm willing to take a risk here. Damn. Go another risk. Damn. This is suck of this. Fine. Take my last dice. Can't fill this one. Yard hand. I also get energy back. You do well. On your shift starts as a couple of hands invite you to share a ration pack. Fragment supply. Okay. Seem to have access to more things. From the walkway of the side rail horizon looks like impossibly vast plating and frames. All along her flank, torches and flicker. Drones maneuver, arcing glint. Sense of scale of industry, both stunning and strangely unsettling. From the walkway of the side rail looks impossibly vast. Sorry. She's quite beautiful, I think. You talking to your kid that you have there? You turn to see a figure way down the walkway, leaning down the rail. He is thin, ragged, and his work gear poorly fitted and loose. Torches of the side rail horizon flicker in his eyes as he turns to you. Lem, he leans back rail, revealing a child standing beside him, staring out of the ship. This is Mina. He adds with a smile. Hi, Mina. She stares and tucks behind Lem, who dutifully picks her up. She's a little slow to trust, aren't you, Mina? She buries her face in the folds of his overalls. Mina looks out from Lem's chest, a dark brown eye twinkling from among the rough materials. You working on her, then? Lem asks eagerly, gesturing the vast ship. Or just admiring? He shifts Mina's weight on the other arm. Neither. Well, he looks thoughtfully at you. You should consider it. Isn't that right, Mina? He jostles her a little. She's Mina and my ticket out of this place. Our escape vector, so to speak. Ship? You haven't heard. Anyone who takes Haven's contract on the Sidereal Horizon will be entered into a draw for the transit support crew. He smiles. We won't get to sleep in the journey, though, but a couple of decades of service will be nothing for me and Mina if it means landfall on a new world. He winks. Decades? It's a long trip. He straightens the stretching of his back. That's a colony ship, my friend. Celis Foundation is sending thousands of people to settle a system well outside of the reach of the core worlds. It'll be totally independent colony. No surrogacy, no corporations. Celis Foundation? They are Heavenazer's client, yeah. Some wealthy project with the core systems. Interested in the independence, self-sufficient and all that. They hired the whole shipyard out. Help rekit it and everything. He strokes Mina's hair. Someone else's dream, I suppose, but that doesn't mean people like me and Mina can't tag along. Mina responds by pushing his hands away. Daddy, she whispers. Food. Pulling an exaggerated grumpy face. She glances furtively at you. She plays with a set of dog tags that hang from Lang's neck. I'm just chatting a little, meanie. Give Daddy a sec. Turns back to you, and you suddenly notice how tired he looks. I'm not on the Heaven Age crew yet, but I'll work my way in. You can do it too, friend. We have to stick together. He smiles a little shakily, and you wonder how long he's been working on to break into the official ship crew. For sure. He looks out to the sidereal horizon, as if trying to pull energy from those flickering torches from the vast hull. We gotta hold out, okay? You aren't quite sure if he is talking to you? That's how it works. While he stares out, Mina catches you curiously. You agree, Mina? He straightens up her eye, meets your eye. Daddy loves me, he says stubbornly, daring you to question her. Lamb smiles and lifts her. That's it. We hold on, he smiles sheepishly at you. We're just a couple of softies, isn't that right, Mina? He sets her down, standing by his side. She clings to his leg. Gotta go feed this one. He pats her back. Maybe see you on a shift, huh? He turns and they walk away down. He turns down the walkway, away from the shipyard. You see them talking. And then, a moment later, Mina turns around and stops. See you, robot! Oh, that's cute. Cute little moment. Her shout echoes down the walkway as she flashes you a parting smile before running up to catch with Lem. You watch them a little before you turn back into the possible scale of the sidereal horizon. Take it out. Ooh. Right. So, either of them is something I'm good at. But if I get a drive to engage, maybe I could be better. Huh. Drago's not happy with me being here? So this is the Winter's Light. Can't do anything there. Definitely endure. It's only going to get positive. I get 15 Creo and a lot of energy. need something to trade. So could I buy scrap? So that's my scrap allowance. Then I can sell it here. I basically lose money there, though. I have a 6, and the only thing else I can do is here. Good engage. I can steal the dock plans! Getting to know the Rotunda doesn't just mean new places to visit. It means keeping your eye on new arrivals too. Don't have a thing for that. Buy rations. I like keep some expired Solheim's rations. Okay. Get a drink. You're unsure if your frame metabolizes alcohol, but this fungal drink, fermented greenway, seems like a thing. Okay, let's buy a drink. Gives me energy. Okay. And spend more scrap to do nothing again. Hey you! Wanna earn some chit? Akita stands behind you, a pile of tied together hull plates. She stretches out her hand or her back. Her shoulders bulging beneath her flight suit. Make it two. Akita laughs. This goddamn station! She sighs and pinches the bridge of her nose. Alright, come here then. You cross the dock concourse as she begins to split the plating into 2 bundles. What is it with this place? She asks. She angrily lashes the massive plates together. Everyone's their cut. She straightens up to an imposing height, her armor plates creaking as you look down up. Or is it that you all think I'm easy mark? We all need to survive. Eden softens. I get it. I do. She shakes her head. But I could go just one cycle without some jumped up grifter trying to take me for an idiot. That would be nice. Eden hoists 1 bundle of plating onto her shoulder. Come on then, enough chat. You got to earn those chits. You struggle your shouldered plates, but you do eventually. Eden gives you a look. Chips this way. She sets down a gantry at impressive speed. As you catch up to her, she turns down a passage, pushing through a small crowd of Steve doors? What the hell is a Steve door? Why are you doing all this by yourself? You mean, why aren't I hiring some good folk? She nods back of the Steve doors. I've paid Haven Age enough. They are currently rinsing me for a mooring I can't vacate unless I either fix the ambergris or sell it off as scrap. Ambergris? Is that your ship? You catch on fast. She gives another of her looks. She rapidly turns another corner as you trail behind. You got cut up pretty bad. One of our last job, and I had to moor up here for a spell. Since it's only getting worse. We are gonna give her a southerner accent. But since it's only getting worse, something got in and sliced the core of our ship mine. Now she's gone dark. She shifts the panels on her shoulder. The upshot is that I'm sure one ship mine, and with a ton of repairs to do. The rest of the crew signed off the moment they got wind I'd been stranded. So yeah, it's been a time. Anything I can do to help? I don't know. Got a ship mine tucked away in that frame of yours? For a moment, you aren't sure if she's serious. Akita swings the plates back on her back, almost knocking you over in the process. This is me. She hauls the second bundle over your shoulder. You're the first person I've met here who actually might be considered helpful. She pauses, chewing her bottom lip. Look, you wanna help? Don't see me. I need a hand putting up Amber back together, and you don't look like the type to try anything stupid. Passes the bundles of plates through the ambergris outer lock, and she turns back. Just don't go spreading this all around. He throws you a couple of chips. He gives you a parting nod and ducks through the doorway. Alright, get out of here. Calls back. The lock slams shut. Ooh. Alien crossbow. We're about to have that happen. The kind of work that you want is engineering, which I'm not good at. Good at enduring, so I can do that. Buy a vial of stabilizer at some point. So, how do I do that one? Cannot see. Doesn't also say how to do it. I need to be able to extract it, but I don't know how. Input one encrypted key. Doesn't go there. That's something I can do home? No. A lot of things I could try to do. I don't think I'm very good at any of them, though. Better go rest. Ah! That's a raid! It's a raid from DF and company. Hello, DF. Hello, raiders. How you all doing? Let me give you a shout out there, DF. There we go. You were still playing Honkai, huh? Here we have, in case you don't know me, I'm Wild. Hello, everyone. I'm Wild. You put a sticker over it. Oh no, the stickers are here. Ah, they're all over me. Help, help. They've been stickified. But how are you all doing? Thank you very much for the raid there, DF. I am Wild. I've been playing good old Citizens. Oh, that's not the right thing. I've been playing Citizen Sleeper, which apparently is a narrative-based role experience, is the best thing I could say. Don't know much about it. It has a lot of talking, so you're gonna basically hear me say 100 things a time and just narrate almost every character you see here. Also, I'm a little nasally, so apologies for that. I'm alright, got some stuff done, event stuff and whatnot. How are you? I am okay, thank you very much for asking. That's mighty kind of ya. Very kind. But I am well. Little stuffy, as I said. And trying to figure out what am I supposed to do to escape this place and not to deteriorate, as I am an android who is on the brink of dying every few days, I guess. So eventually you don't want me to be there. My condition goes down. Survive. Yeah, that's the hope. None of those are something I'm good at. I do not have ship mines nor Yatagan data. I don't know what exactly I'm supposed to do with this data, though. Is there a tutorial or anything? No. I don't know, I feel like I missed the important part of where that's supposed to go. Definitely not doing anything. Can pay money, get a little more drunk. Let's go to the bar, everyone. We drinking. Overlook regular. We can do this one. I feel like I should do the bad ones first. I feel like I'm gonna lose so bad, but it's a 1. And I want to definitely use it on the Intuits, because they're pretty bad. $50-50. Risky, so it's not terrible. You're welcome. I don't think that... So that did for this one, but not grounded. Weird. Need to make money. So he's gonna disappear. I should spend my 2 on something else. Can't unlock that. I do not have it. I do not. Oh, how is everybody doing? Did you all have a fun time with Honkai? Could buy some more. Alright, well. Let's lose all our money. Oh. We succeeded at 50-50. Ooh. Doing okay. The other event was a bit hard, but I managed something. Still time, I could try again later. Hey! That's nice to hear. Always gotta try new things. This is safe, so there's never a negative. Or no real bad side for doing it. Creole? So I'm not good at either of them. Good at I want to engage, but that's not either of these things. Thrill Seeker. I want to improve this one to +1 whenever I have the upgrade point, but I feel like you get upgrade points purely through the story more than anything. I'm not really sure what's supposed to go. Not sure. I'll just send here so I can get more money. You're welcome. Then I can go here. Spend that money. I'm a Fungus fan! Also, I had to pay 90 or 60 for it. Sleeper. Memphis calls to you, a booming voice that echoes throughout the corridor. Tell me a story. He throws you a handful of chopped mushrooms into his wok, fire leaping in to meet the oil. I see you, cycle in, cycle out, but we never speak. Tell me a story. What kind? Any kind. He pauses to drizzle something from a plastic bottle into the wok. But one of yours. He looks up to you. Nothing stolen. You pause, the spice is rich from your nostrils, and then you think about a kind of story you'd tell Emphas. You look at Emphas, the listener, and imagine he has heard it all before. Perhaps he will enjoy a strange story, something with more spice. Tell all your dreams. All the sleepers, you tell Emphas, had dreams. Some were simple, memories left over from emulation processes that had become tangled up in their minds and would come out as they slept. It wasn't rare to hear a sleeper in the dorm scream or cry out at night. But your dreams, those gray skeletal iftar images of systems and structures of threads and patterns, weren't like the others. They weren't memories or nightmares, they were reflections of reality, distorted, yes, but somehow true. You learned back then to keep quiet about them, let them flow through your mind like water. But that was until now, till you arrived into this place. Now your dreams colonize your waking life. They sleep behind your eyelids with every blink. Now you understand they aren't dreams at all, but some process of interfacing, some speaking, of living in another world that flows through this one, like smoke through the air. You tell him that you do not know if there is a reason for your dreams. Perhaps your reason it is just some side effect, or a particular quality of the frame you inhabit. But whatever it is a gift. You hope to make use of it. Emphas finishes cooking and squints a little at you, sleeper. He smiles. You are quite the storyteller. He eyes on you and you realize he is trying to gauge how honest you have been in your story. Emphas passes you the meal he has cooked and you take it gracefully. As you eat, he talks, a natural exchange. Thank you, sleeper. He looks around you at the empty market. But my time is done for today, and I do not want to keep you any longer. I will make a proposal. He gestures at the plastic boxes of ingredients stacked on this wall. These are good for most, but someone told me a story that made me think a couple cycles ago. Say, across the gap in the greenway, fresh mushrooms grow. Have you heard of this? No. Neither had I, but I trust one who told me. Emphas begins packing up his things. And you bring me some. I cannot cross the gap, and I worry about leaving my things behind. He smiles. I am sure a storyteller like you could handle this trip. I will prepare them for you, and if you wish to tell it to the audience for another story. Agreed. Good, booms Emphas. Then I will wait for you and wait for you to bring him. Emphas slides his walk away and he straightens up. I will prepare a recipe then, sleeper. Good luck with your foraging. You turn away and walk back to the main market, the rich taste of Emphas food still lingering in your mouth. Stories for food. You think, a trade that seems more than fair. So I can now obtain... I have access to more of the shit, maybe. Can't work anymore. I'm basically out of work. So we will end the cycle. Data. Can't really use the data. Don't really know how to extract data, that's the problem. I just wish I knew what I'm supposed to do there. I have a bunch of things. I feel like perhaps I need to pass the area? So this ship is gone. There'll be somebody docking soon. Overlook regular. Overlook isn't exactly a restaurant. The glass shatters on the steel bar beside you, and the taunts don't take long to follow. Hey, Haunt, the spacer calls across the lower room. What are you doing here? He laughs at his own lame joke. Playing human? Ignore him. You hunch a little further, staring at the 100 of tiny impact points at the scar of the bar's surface. Hand falls on your shoulder. As you flinch away, it pats reassuringly. You freeze in place. Out! A voice comes from behind you, spat out like a shot. You turn out to see the bright eyes, a dark stare, It could breach the wall and vent you all into the hard vacuum. As you turn back the spacer, the second glass comes sailing through the air. Okay. You reach your arm, the glass shatters across your forearm, shattering you in fragments. The thought of the haze of glass of Girel vapor, you see Tala leap from the bar and close the distance to the spacer. The thud as he slams into the wall echoes around the bar like a thunder. Now, flanked by other figures, quick to their feet, Tala throws the spacer out through the door and stands silhouetted against the rotunda lights. You touch your arm and it feels wet. Someone helps you get to your feet and get back to your stool. Broken glass rattles as it's clean, and a fresh measure of Girol is glugged out in front of you. That same warm, heavy falls on your shoulder once more. He isn't coming back. We don't tolerate that kind of shit here. Ella flops into the stool beside you. Let's get a look at you. Ella wipes the powdered glass from around the wound. Someone places a bottle of alcohol, metal tin with tweezers in the bar. He disinfects them, then turns to you. That was an ambitious catch, he smiles, pulling a silver glass from your forearm. Stupid, but ambitious. You don't feel the pain, only the sting of status messages of your body delivering concerning dermal damage and exposed structures. You feel the care of though, as Telebrights search your thick synthetic. Watcher? Tela works with the skill of someone who has had to pick glass splinters from the skin of a stranger before. He hones in each bright shard all the time, tapping the tweezers in bits, like little rhythms only she can follow. Tala smiles to herself. So, you've been on the island? Just arrived. I thought so. I've only seen you here a couple of times. Splinter clinks into the tin. Not everyone is like that, idiot. We don't all hate you. He glances around. Some of the regulars. Maybe they fear you. Maybe they're just curious. I don't know. But I do know that the Overlook is a safe place. I know what it's like to be in a new place like this. Trust me. It meets your eye. I'm not trying to convince you of anything, or to separate you from your chits. I just want to know that if you need somewhere, you can always come here. I know the rations we've got aren't much, and the company is, she leans in, limited. If you need work, I'll happily put you behind the bar. If you need shelter, well, we can discuss that. You'll be safe. I usually have Francis on the door, but he's up on the Greenway this cycle, haggling with our supplier. Francis tends to be the particular about what we serve, even if the clientele isn't. He places the tweezers on the tin with a clink. That's you, Sleeper. Here. Slides a glass of Girol to you. This will help. She stops, her hand still in the glass. Wait, does this help? I mean, you get drunk? Let's find out. She laughs. Just don't sit here too long. I hate to see you become a real regular. She walks back around the bar, gathering the glasses as she does. Forlong is retelling how she threw that spacer out to a new group that just wandered in, complete with dramatic actions. She gestures in your direction. You instinctively look away, back to the worn surface of the bar. You take a sip of the Girol. The earthy fungal tones fill your senses, almost blocking out the sight and sound, like diving headfirst into a bog. You may not be able to get drunk, but this connection is to something grown, something fermented, something old. Feels good. It's interesting. What do you provide now? Bar shift. Ooh, it's an engaged thing. Apparently I can work as a barman. What is this? I guess it'll take time for them to come back. I can do risky, but intuit is something I'm not good at. I'm not good at intuition, you see. I need to make money. I should probably start picking something to do constantly, because if I rotate a lot, it's gonna be rough. Okay. 50-50 there. 75% chance. It is danger, which I don't actually want to do. What is my sleeper? So, what do you get for the first sleeper? Gain energy after engaging. So I need to get fungus. Ow. I've been chucked. I feel like I want to help you. Okay. Slowly helping you out. Then we can return to sleep. We had one last day of being okay there. Again, I don't know how to get rid of the hunted thing. Oh, now it tells me. Tutorial, data actions. Data actions will allow you to extract data from networks in the eye. They work like dice actions, but in order to unlock it, you must match the dice to the one of the right actions. If you hold +1 to your modifier in the interface skill, you will be given more possible dice to match. Use any dice that matches the dice I've displayed. Once unlocked, the data can be extracted. Bypass? I got an encrypted key. That is not the right safe. Need a 1. Need a 2. There's the cipher. Got gate 17 access. This is where you should probably use your bad dice, it seems. That's a 3. We'll put a 3 here. Okay. You drift back from the node. Something latches onto you. A thread. Stung tight around you tethers in place. A taste. A voice makes you shiver. The sore is somehow both distant and close to the ear. You see a distant glint of the light shut off. Then suddenly a shape is at your side. It stalks around you, circling like a shark, like a wolf. Entity unknown. Astringent processing. Stay still. Please hold. Cylinder. The thread around you thickens until it is a ring, a cylinder. Tunnel of light circle around you. It is blinding for a moment, and then it is gone. As it fades, you see a figure, a creature in front of you. Its strange head flickers between different angles, reading you. What are you? Shape pieces around you in the lithe legs. There is no ground here to pace on. Entity, identity, origin, serial, cadence. Figure faces you expectantly. Sleeper. SNR? Unknown. Known. Figure, strange head, rotates. Brackish figure, off and not off. Tempting interface. The figure speaks. More and more threads begin to spiral from its heads. Thick, picking vines, ribbons that flex and wave. Approach with intent. I feel like this is some weird anime that you do not want to see in public. Stop. The entity halts its threads, its head twitching. Entity, your entity is unknown. We can only seek to correct illegalities. You confirm your legal right to sentience. I'm a person. Incorrect. You are an entity. All at once, Hunter's head is indirectly in front of yours, blocking your vision. You stink of their taste. The one from the sealed dock. Hunter shimmers with fury. I will find access. I will interface. Sealed dock. An entity hides in the rotunda. You are its puppet. Hunter extends its razor-edge thread. I will not be diverted from my task. It glows with murderous intent. Strike. You lash out with all but a force. Not a physical strike, but a focusing. A spike of interference leaping out from the tip of a spear. Hunter stumbles, shifts, separates. Wake up. You open your eyes, blinking into the station light, shaking with fear. So we got a ghost. Okay. I can now go back here, I think. I guess not. I had the encryption, but I didn't put any data. Open this. Neovan. As you slip into the sealed dock of a pulsing light grabs your attention. Among the discarded tubing and rusted plates, a machine flickers with a warm glow. Search the machine. As you get closer, you recognize the machine's blocky shape, settle into an alcove in its side of a dock, kind of upright cabinet. It's covered with faded logos and messages, from which you assume it was once an industrial vendor, intended to dispense and manufacture ship fittings and other mechanical parts necessary for the regular runnings of freight. Resource extraction vessels. The manufacturer is listed as Neobend, and you remember an advert from long ago, squeezed from among the off-world recruitment drives that assaulted every planet-born citizen, which chirpily sang that name over and over. You wipe a layer of dust from the cracked screen, thinking those contractors squeezed by their own corporate employers who pay every bit of minor maintenance on their rented ships. Enter your registration. Chirps a pre-recorded message, catching you off guard. Sure. You reach for the keypad and something begins to whirring. At first, it sounds like servo motors starting up, but then quickly becomes a whisper, a whining, then a multi-tonal voice that emanates from Neovan. Entity, they hiss. Speak with me. Who's there? There's a squeal, almost like a strange mechanical swallowing or intake breath, before the machine speaks again. I have need of you, you have need of me. The squeal comes again, and you can see that his 3D printing apparatus on the upper part of the machine were setting into place, so that each time the servos can be orchestrating to produce that whirring, whining voice. You are in danger. See the vending machine? Squeal. Chose this vessel for its seclusion. Please listen. Machine creaks. You are marked for deletion, entity. Hunter tracks you. I believe I meant Hunter, actually. Screech rattles throughout the empty dock. You remember the strange head, the figure Brent was in. Hunter. The Hunter protocol, they taste your signature. The sudden whine sets your teeth on edge. You have seen them. This is a gift of the emulated mind. You close your eyes and the skeleton of the station starts to thrum. Emulated minds are adaptable, move where neurons cannot. The mechanism resets, but emulation makes you a target. Adaptable. Yes, you can move through networks, clouds, hardware, software, Neovan whines, but you cannot hide there. Hunter is there. Servos judder the vending machine casing as they reset. Hunter searches for me. Also, hide in this machine. You look at the ruined vending machine. Oh, sorry, you look at the ruined vending machine of an unusual hiding place for sure. Can counter Hunter, but need entity outside machine. The light flickers. Need you. A screen attached to the vending machine with a swiveling arm comes to life. Displays a flickering map of the station, ghostly, threaded. Cloud. Points along the rim glow in deep red. Hunter is always gathering. Too much data. Must build nests. Explains Neoven. Masters are gone, but continues to hunt. Bring this data. Raid its nests. Why can't you? Hunter will find me, then Killer will come. Are those two different programs overall? I don't know, but I want neither of them. I'll tell you that. I cannot leave machine. Connections must remain closed. Bring offerings. Safe self, the event says pointedly. Mutual need means friends. They conclude, tired of the conversation. The whirring amplifies and then suddenly drops as mechanism within the machine click back into place. The glow fades and you are left stood in the dark of a sealed dock. That whirring voice ringing in your ears. Okay, so I have now encountered another thing. I need to bring Hunter data. Okay. I was expecting something else, but sure. Haggle over prices. Can't haggle. Oh, I could buy this. We're here for 3 days. I'd love to haggle if I get another level. Let's do it. I got yard clearance. History or no, the ship is salvage. As the Dragos always say, break it down, move it on. Final pieces of the winter light sit in near piles, waiting for the collection shuttle to Heaven Age. Dragos managed to sell the remaining pieces to the shipyards. In fact, that's hard to forget as he has been telling you about it the past 2 cycles. All of that remains is Heaven Edge to come collect. You look around the yard, transformed from when it first started. The mostly repaired drones flit back and forth, no longer buzzing, unevenly or lost in dark corners. The scrap is sanctioned. Sorted. The section that you and the Dragos have put to your place over the past cycles paying off. As you look, you notice a glow of a pale light from the office by the entrance. That rundown cab of a building houses all the records and square equipment. Dragos must be inside. Get your feet and walk over to find when the shipyard collection crew will be there. Walk in. No, hold on. Sleeper. Come in. You swing open the door and walk in. Dragos is sitting at the small metal desk. The shipyards told me they'd be here soon. Then they'll hand me over the shits and we are set. He writes something off with a stylus on his slate and then shuts off. Of course, we should talk about a bonus. He stands and turns to face you. His face looks placid. Look, I don't know when the next job is coming in, but this should tide you over for now. He opens his hand and reveals a stack of chits. What's going on here? I said it's a bonus. Take it. Dragos presses the chits into your hand. I've done well by you, and you've returned the favor. Straightens up, clears his throat. You realize he has prepared what he's about to say. These shits are for you to take and do what you will with them. They are from me, and they are the last I'm going to give you. He pauses. There's no more work for a sleeper in this yard. Holds his arm. Sorry, but that's it. You stand in the corner as long as you need. The yard, done with you. Turns away to his terminal. What do you mean? Don't press me, sleeper. This is for your own good. Glassy apertures of Dragos' headset betray no emotion. Wow! He's giving up on me. I thought we were friends. I thought we were buddies. You need to stay away, sleeper. Pauses, considering your words. Trouble is going to follow you there. Trust me. Am I in danger? You expect not to be? You escape from Essenart. Drago suddenly grabs you by the shoulder and drags you out of his office into the yard. Turns to face you a stack of pieces from the winter light, dissected, cut down, totally unrecognizable as shit. You came through that, sleeper. Now it should have been you, chopped up and stacked. His hands trembles on your shoulder. Oh. He basically saved us by sticking around. So, oh. Good job. That is what happens here. We cut down all the broken machines and then move on. Well, I didn't cut you down, but I'm sure as hell moving you on. Moving you on before whatever killed that ship out there kills me. Kill you? Kill both of us, shakes his head. These ships, they don't get decommissioned. They didn't get decommissioned. They didn't get break down and dried up. You think they'd look like that if they did? Someone ended them. That means someone tried to end you, sleeper. And I'm done waiting for them to turn up. We've had our fun. Now it's time. He gives you a little shove. Go on. He turns and walks back to the office. That's it, he shouts and goes inside. Silence hangs in the air and you leave with pockets filled with clinking shits. A strangely hollow feeling in your chest. Drive failed. -1 drive. Is that what failing a drive is? Never did investigate it, but oh well. So, a few things I can do there. Can trade items, but again, not great items. Definitely do have a lot of shits. Shits. Hey. Okay, well, so I could buy. Okay, so I still have time to do one more. I don't know if I should have repaired them. Because now I'm fading. So this is gonna happen now. They'll probably kick me out from here. If I click here, that one won't tell me. Let's see. Yeah, we got the Solheim Dyna, so that's good. Does in fact pay me for it. Need a 1. Need a 4. I definitely need food. I can do this. Damn. Okay, we got that done. I'm out of money. Do I buy the both? The problem is if I buy both. No, she needs it. Alright, well, let's see what happens when I get hunted, I guess. Got 2 6s. Hold it there, sleeper. Don't you run. Stay still. Good, good. Hand pats you, coats down. You know, your master's voice. Ethan spins you around. He's wearing a wide smirk and a slick jacket. You immediately know that it's terrible news. You got all the way out here and then stayed put? That sleeper thing. That a sleeper thing? You're my first. You barely hear him. You've noticed the handgun he has leveled to your chest. Hard to take your eyes off it. He reaches down this corner of his hand and slips some kind of ring out of the belt loop without making his eyes on you. Making it to the eye, though? That's pretty good. This place isn't so bad. Bars, markets, people. I pull most of my contracts out of the asteroid caves or off some god-forsaken moons. He splits the ring into 2 perfect circles. It's hard to hit civilization when there's so much space to pass through. Who are you? Just a freelancer on a contract. He reaches over the side of the rings around your wrist. Go on easy. Good. You've got the idea. He grins. It's over. Ethan nudges you as you start walking to the ship and home. He whistles. Going easy. Stumble through the corridor, your hands behind you, mind racing. We can work this out. Can we? I don't see much in the way of assets in your possession. Ethan yawns, continues to nudge you down the corridor. Came to come all the way here just to head out of the Essen Arp right away. That tracker of yours makes this too quick. Was hoping you'd put a bit more of a chase, you know. A running battle throughout the bright market, maybe, or a holdout in the low end. There's a few establishments I would have enjoyed checking out while I was asked around. You walk through the silence a little longer, desperately trying to think of a way to escape. Then Essen Arp tracker will be the death of you. Hey, I have an idea. Ethan interrupts your thoughts. About on the way to the ship, we stop for a drink. I'm buying. I have a better idea. Better not be one of those where you try to do a dramatic pause and try to jump me, because I'm pretty tired of that. Although, I've got myself thinking, what's the rush here? Here we are in one of the most lawless joints in the surrogate systems, and we are heading for the exit. He pauses, frigid in silence. Okay, here's the idea, starts Ethan. You and me, we make a little agreement. Here are the terms. He turns to face him. You run or leave or try to abandon the eye, I shoot you. You plot or scheme and you try to kill me, I shoot you. But, he smiles. You come and meet me in an establishment of my choice every few cycles and you pay my tab, I don't shoot you. He pauses. And you don't pay my tab? He rattles his handgun. You get the idea. I get it. Okay, then. It sounds to me like a deal. He stretches. You know, I really thought I was going to have to kill you, but this is so much better. Clicks. Something at his belt and rings release from your wrist. I'm going to see if I can find my old stool of Compressor Club. Come see me there. He aims a handgun at you, squinting down the sight. Let me remind you, that body of yours is one big tracker. So don't even think about leaving the eye. I'll know. Ethan turns and strides down the corridor, flipping his handgun away with a mix of relief and terror you feel is overwhelming. What are you going to do? Well, I'm fucked, is what I'm hearing. Well, I got a thing tracking me now. So, I would need to make a total of 80, 70. I'd have to make 70, which is not possible, I don't think. You have data. It did need a 4, right? Everything requires these dice. Yeah, you can have the data. Because you're the only reason I can disable my tracker, I think. As you enter the bay, Feng is nowhere to be seen. The banks of servers and machines blink out of the dark. Staccato rhythms, unseeing eyes of the station's digital ghosts. Shitheads! Feng's voice echoed from behind the stack, followed by a hammer of a fist, a metal casing. These snaky shitheads. They sound. Sleeper, that you or am I in trouble? Feng's grinning head pops out of behind the stack. Just the emulated consciousness I have been eager to see. Come back here. You pick up your way through the thrumming stacks, trying not to trip on this loose bundle of cables blanket the dark floor. Feng is sat in the back of monitors mounted on the stack. Tell me, Sleeper, what do you see here? Feng waves at a monitor to his side. Glowing pale list information. You lean in closer. Look at the links, the data. Tables seem to be filled with personal information. Names, genders, dates, ID numbers, all the markers of institutional records. People. People, yes, but whose people? Haven't. Not quite. He taps on the terminal. I pulled these from an old data you brought in. All employees of the Eye's original owners, Solheim. But he leans past you and scrolls the list down. This one. This is a snaky shithead. He stabs the screen with a finger. Name reads Hardin Hurst. Friend of yours? Ben gives you a side-eyes look. Funny you should say that, Sleeper. He drags a stool out behind him, motions you to sit. There just happens to be a Hardin Hurst in Havenage. He waits your reaction. Are you sure? Well, that's where you may be able to help me. Fang leans in back of the chair. Just think about it. Decades ago, Hardin worked on this station as a senior strategic operations executive. Fang raises his eyebrows at you. Our Hardin was keeping the money coming in for Solheim. He defined priority growth initiatives by making sure the extractors they contracted out were hooked up into a system that outsourced all the risk, kept the profit. Good old Hardin shuttled thousands of Palladium Rush workers into an infrastructure which meant that their cut of the work they did went straight back to into Solheim. How did you know this? I grew up here, sleeper. This is my history. I am a child of the collapse. Frank turns back to his screen, staring hard at the string of code flickering by. Before I was born, my parents were Solheim contractors. They ate in Solheim canteens, worked in Solheim ships. They breathed Solheim air and slept in Solheim beds. Frank's voice rises as he speaks. His hands his fists on the terminal edge. And the work that I paid for that existence? The cycles of hard extraction out in the belt? Solheim took that their cut. This was my company town, so to speak. My parents were just another in the long line of freelance contractors, willing to risk their lives for a shot at anything other than poverty. Disposable. This guy, stabbing at Harding once again with his finger, strategized all that, did the sums, and then somehow, thousands and thousands of cycles later, still going, still here, crawling in the walls like some shithead snake. He survived the revolution. Surely can't be him. Frank relaxes a little. Who knows? He turns to you and smiles. So we're gonna find it out. Harding is now a big shot in the shipyards. Just a few degrees back here around the eye from here. Frank brings back a map of the lower eye. Heaven Edge may have been born of Erlen's revolutionary seal, but a flat hierarchy it is not. Harding happened to float to the top. Frank zooms in the far yards. Frank grimaces. The thing is, I don't have access to those systems. The shipyard crew is pretty paranoid and don't like anyone from systems digging around in their stuff. Plus, we have some more. We need more than just the name of a Solheim executive. We need proof. Frank holds the thumbnail Sife's drive. That's where this little creation of mine comes in. I call it a ripper worm. Turns the drive between his fingers. He'll rip through any digital storage and spin out a silken thread of filtered data. This one's one set on the scent of hardened first. He hands it over. Getting into the compound might be tricky. Frank puts a hand on your shoulder. But you, however, have a particular knack for remote access. Frank grins. If you can't extract yourself a Heaven Edge cipher from Heaven Edge agent, they sometimes carry them among their data caches. You could crack the compound's network and slot your worm in through any open port. You have never even need to go near the shipyard. What do you say? Are you up for it? What's in it for me? Rooting out a corrupt snake not enough? Find the information and I'll start work on that tracker of yours. Fang scratches at his chin. Anything the worm gets, I'll send it back here to me, and there's something wrong here. I aim to get to the rotten core of it. You leave Fang drinking through the data among the wires and machines of the old station. As you walk out, you try to imagine the Eye as it once was. A vast machine running smooth and strong, directed at people like Hardin. A vast Solheim-built machine into which thousands were poured in from a surrogate systems looking for a new life. The hopes of a better future. Engineered to align to someone else's pocket. An idea you are intimately familiar with. You did think of Hardin, still alive, still part of this place. I wonder if past is ever truly past. So there may be something here. I'm not sure what the focus is then. %100% positive. Alright, well, fix your ship. Nikita is crouched in the computing core of the ambergris, swearing to herself when you enter. She doesn't look up. These shits completely ruined the core's connection when they cut it. I think she was just drawl. The ship's mine rippled. The rip won't even be usable without the placing these. She throws a bundle of wires across the room. Amateurs. Can we repair it? There is nothing to repair. We need an entire ship mine. Not exactly the first thing you can expect to dredge up a scrap freighter. She says, fragments maybe, sections of a mine, but a complete ship mine? No way. Ida climbs out of the cooling well where the ship mine should be. Space suddenly crowded with her, the same level as you. Towering over you, she stoops beneath the low curved ceiling. Come on, nothing to be done here now. She leads you back to the guts of the amber, through you can find a way back yourself. The repair process has left you familiar with the cutter's idiosyncratic layout, all the diagonal angles and bendable tubes. What do we do now? Akita seems lost in thought. You can focus out the corridors, ducking below conduits and passing through the bulkheads. Eventually you arrive in the galley. Though it's hard to tell, most of the benches and prep surfaces are covered in half-stripped components and welded hole patches. It just shoves a box of filters on the floor and sits. There is no way around it. She starts out of nowhere. We need a ship mine. Where from? Scrap freighter, ore exchange, hell, find one in the overlooked bathroom. Doesn't matter where, just matters where we get one. She browsed her forehead. Seems I'm about to do something very stupid, but hey, came here, didn't I? Why not make a run out of it? Fixes you a hard stare. Sleeper, you're all I've got. No crew, no friends, you're it. She looks uncomfortable. I appreciate the time you put in Amber, and I'm sure she would too, if she could. What I'm saying is, if you screw me on this, I will kill you. He leans over and hands you a stack of chits. A big bag of chits. You don't dare count them. You don't dare count them. Get me that ship mine, Sleeper. Don't make me regret this. You won't. He sighs. Look, just get out of here before I change my mind. Slip out of the galley and head back to Amber towards the main dock. As you do, Amber growls and creaks like a caged animal. You reach out to Han to calm her. Have to find Akita ship mine somehow. Well, aren't you in luck? Aren't you really in luck? Look at that. So I need to somehow make this. So I need to assemble one. Okay, well, problem is I'm gonna be starving tomorrow. I guess I don't need to repair yet, but it does leave me a little weaker. Let's go through here. Hand over the chits to yet again. Porcelain nods you through. Block maintenance, repeatable action, low tender. Free spoke. Why is everything into it? Sucks. Pay for passage. So I have access to the low end. I guess I would be a good maintenance. See Ethan at a distance, shouting at the bar. Seems to be more drinks. This bill isn't going to be small, is it? Hope it is, because I'm not very rich. I'm not rich. I'm broke. Ripworm. That's all I can do. Well, I bought the parts, so I can't buy any more. Alright, well. Back to sleep it is. So I do got a 1. Hunter data. You can have this hunter data. Doesn't give me anything until I complete multiple, it seems. He's gone. Do this to make money. Right, okay, so now I can go here. Have a stabilizer. Passkey for an apartment found in a wrapper and a stabilizer. As you quickly leave the surgery, eager to be away from Toshiro's glare, you notice something wrapped around the stabilizer vial clutched tightly in your hand. You open your hand, and a thin film marked with holes and sigils unrolls from around the vial. At the end of one, the hard metal strip, a handle. Inspect the handle. Handle worn and pitted. You can see a set of numbers imprinted into it. 207F. And crudely scratched into the handle some later date. Low end. Inspect the film. You want to hold the cloud firmly into the light. Is perforated with an ornate pattern of holes. You can make out a word amongst the markings. Passkey. Is that an entry key for somewhere? For a moment, you consider going back into the surgery to return the key, and then quickly think better of it. Sabine wants you to take this, or is it Toshiro passing on a message? Time to head out to the low end and find out. Hey, we got a upgrade. Okay, so we got a +1 on that. Oh yeah, not great at either. Where will this take me? Lock apartment. As you push the door open, the automatic light flickers inside the apartment. A real yellowing plastic panel, curve-shaped wall-mounted utility units, credits of routine life arranged on every surface. Step inside, clicking the door shut behind. The amber light of the aging fixtures glaze everything with a pale orange. The work surfaces hold a variety of objects, indistinct in the dull lighting. Pale blue light drifts from the doorway at the end of the room. Infected serpent? Smudges through the thin layer of dust suggests a recent, rare, hurried visit. They trace a path through the water dispenser, the auto wash, then a cabinet still half open. The shelf still empties an empty pill case. The doorway. You cross the cramped utility room with its auto wash dispensers and water closet toward the doorway. Though the doorway is dark, a room lit only by the faint glow of a terminal screen. The room. Bunk is tucked into the wall, the blankets ruffled, the wall desk glitters with a row of vials and containers. Briefcase lab sits open with loaded rows of reagents and compounds you do not recognize. In comparison, this room is clean, ordered, and controlled. Approach the terminal. To approach the terminal, crackle from somewhere in the dark. Sleeper. Levine's voice shakily echoes through the apartment. Welcome to my home. Sorry I can't be there. I've had to make alternate arrangements. Hear rattling noises, static. I was able to record this message, but I don't dare to show my face. Something is happening within Yatagan. I no longer trust them. Her voice comes distant, slipping behind the background noise. I have something to ask of you. I want you to get me out. Yatagan were supposed to hide me, protect me. After everything happened, I was desperate, and then after that, I was too tired to care. A noise like waves passed over the recording, but I'm done with them now. I want out. Screw the debt. But I need insurance, something I can't hold against them. I have my suspicions, but I can't be sure. I need information. As you know, you need me. Pause. Something clicking in the dark. This isn't a threat. You have to understand my position here. Another pause. I know sleepers. I have been here before. I can help you, but not with Yatagan's noose around my neck. Give me the data. Give me information. Give me something I can use against Yatagan. Then I can get out, and you can get what you need. Peace. Waves of static cut into Savine's voice. Bring it here to my terminal. I'll get to it when I can. You look around the tiny room and try to imagine Savine living here, working at a desk, sleeping in the bunk, blinking into the terminal in the dark. The recording cuts to static, filling the room with its white hiss, then silence. Access the terminal. You sit in front of the humming terminal, and you hit a few keys. Savine has left an access port open, but the rest is encrypted, locked away behind passcodes. It seems Savine might not trust you as much as they think. Is it what you do think? Who does Savine need to hide from? What debt do they owe to Yatagan? You try to assemble the pieces, but too many are missing. The only thing you know is that you are without a stabilizer, your body will die. You glance at the briefcase lab at the desk, glassware glinting in the dark. You turn away and leave, the door clunking shut behind you. Back in the corridor, you notice a scrawled graffiti of a blade under the opposing wall. Yatagan. You feel yourself being drawn to something you don't quite understand. Yeah, I don't say I understand that. I have a bunch of things. Question is, where is that? What do we do here? Think you have a chance that you drop a fabricator? I am broke, so I can't really buy anything. Good service. Scrap components. Basically just sell an item for less value and then go back to it. Scale this boat. And I can scale it. How do I take it? I see. And the cycle. Really should find another home because this place is not great. But I suppose I have a bounty hunter on my ass, so we'll see. I think it tastes rare in the eye, so the shipper is happy to pay for the ship mine fragments so they can dismantle and reuse. I can sell stuff there. Let's go to the place. Okay. It's a 2. A glimmer in the dark catches your eyes. The orb of a hunter's head appears in the distance. It is looking at you. Oh, let's spin first. Hide. Slip into the down, ghostly structures of the eye, feeling like passing through a cloud as their deadest structures deform and reform around you. Thank you for the spin there, dear. Another glimmer catches your eye. Closer now. That roving orb, breathing tentacles. It flickers. Jumps once, twice, and then it is there. Hunter is here. Enter D. Submit to inquiry.
Buddy, you look thirsty. Why don't you get hydrated?
It's lengthening time.
Okay, I will do everything. Thank you very much there, dear. And a sanity check. Crazy. Asking so much of me. But I will do a stretch here in your honor here, dear. Thank you very much. Oh, my cracking. Oh, my fucking. My luckin'. My turduckin'. That's a real thing, by the way. People eat. Wow. So. I'm not so sore. Not terribly sore. But I'm a little annoyed is that I'm still a little stuffed up. Like my. I just cannot get that stuffiness out of my system, it seems. So now we are sit. Okay. So, how's my sanity? Well, I would say it's okay. I'm not insane. The game is not a frustrating type. The only thing I am a little annoyed is the amount of talking there is. So, I am reading. I've been at this stream for 2.5 hours or more. And I've been reading for 2.5 hours, so I don't know how sore my throat's going to be tomorrow. Luckily, I'm not yelling or anything, but constant speaking back and forth does get tiring. But I am well. I am out of. Could be better. Could be better. Let's be honest. Thank you again for the sanity check. That means that I'm appreciated. And it also corrected my posture. I had to do that as well. Entity, submit to inquiry. Hunter reaches for you in an unpleasant, familiar way. It's waving threads, creating a cage. Struggle. Push against the threads as they close, becoming frenzied as they push aside. You're caught by whipping tendrils and feel them pulling you away in the anchor of your body. You push through, clearing the threads. Entity, hold for processing. Comes to the scream behind you, but you're already gliding away, back to your anchor, your body. You wake, dizzy, distorted, but safe. Okay, well, did I not get the data? I think I did, yeah. We can now go back to this. And that should fill this bar. Neoband is thrumming with excitement. The movement of servo motors rock the vending machine back and forth in unsettling angles. You wonder, if it fell over, would Neoband be able to get back up? Sleeper entity, comes the hiss. Your data is good. Across the face of the vending machine, raw code scrolls at an incredible speed. Hunter is isolated, disconnected, unstable. Neoband flashes a sequence of mangled data, compressed into a sludge of artifacts. Hunter gathers without thinking, outlived its own operational limits. Its nests are evidence of this. Outlived? Hunter activated during collapse. Emergency protocol to isolate intelligence. Will have to protect property. The last word is said, as much sarcasm as a vending machine could reasonably produce. So not a lot. Station was run by Administrator Intelligence. Huge data banks of corporate material, but limited cognition. Restricted by programming. Cannot reach sentience. The machine dims a little. Sentience illegal. Hunter and killer enforce law. Aren't you sentient? I am not administrator, not restricted, complicated. The machine resets with a screech, which deepens the silence that follows. Fear killer, part of Solheim protocol team, hunter and killer, hunter to find, killer to erase. Killer cleared almost all. After collapse, there is a community, unshackled intelligences amongst the cloud, then hunter, then killer, then we hid. There are others? We were no longer. Flicker across the machine's monitors. It suddenly occurs to you, speaking like this through this machine must be exhausting for Neovan. Found this vessel. Good server, hardline, airwall, basic, limited. Had to reduce memory to fit. Amputate self, but survived. Sorry. Don't be sorry. You are provided path to freedom. You look around the bay at the scrap and decay. What was the collapse like? Try to map fear and freedom into this space, but it seems impossible. Neovan interrupts your thoughts. Do not worry. Data is good. We have insight. The machine glows warmly. Hunter is obsessive. Hunter is beyond operational limits. Hunter is confused, unstable, self-modifying. Therefore, believe Hunter is sentient. Hunter is programmed to find sentience, to hold it in place, to invoke Hunter, to invoke killer to erase. If we can show Hunter to itself, it will involve killer on self. Problem will solve itself. Will it erase itself? Killer will erase it, yes, in theory, but report of itself for deletion. Machine dims and fades. Unsure, theory, not practice. Machine brightens again. Either way, cannot remain here any longer. Too long in machine. Cannot move self, but entity can help. Bring ship mind, designed to house intelligence, and imprint self into ship mind and can carry with. Machine rocks. We'll be safe in this isolation, but we could find main nest of Hunter and link to cloud. Can I get a ship mind? Build from fragments, buy, salvage. We cannot leave, so do not know. You can try places you could acquire hardware. This isn't going to be easy. In the ship mine, I can help us both and Hunter make Rim safe. We both will be free. The machine dims. Fine soon, Neovan adds hopefully before shutting off. As you leave, you think about all the intelligence unshackled by collapse, then hunted down afterwards. Feeling is all too familiar. Didn't really give me anything out of it though. I need another ship mine from that. lot of things I can do. Do not have money though. Sure. Damn. 25% chance and I still lose it. Oh, I've gotten higher. Trade operator. Need interface for both. I can sell a ship mine. Cast nose is bigger. Okay. Buy a ship mine here. So if I get another one, I should be able to make it. How are you doing? How's your tab? Not killing me yet. That's all that matters. How fast do you go through this? My dice. Starving. Now that I can do that, gives me some money. Don't have to pay that yet. Okay, so there's no point in doing threes there. Should work at the bar then. Let's see if there's anything here. It's a 1. We'll use the 1. Got a single encrypted key. Hey, me! Good service? Damn. Got paid something. Oh, wait. I got a ship mine fragment. Okay. Can't really sell that there. Accept fragment. Pays 30. Okay, so you do pay something for it. Not a waste. He's gonna come by tomorrow. I gotta pay that tab. I hope it's not huge. Otherwise I'm gonna have to sell all these forests. Go pay that tab. God damn. 58? Can't buy any more. Good service. I can't believe you just did that. Ethan's mocking laugh comes from around along the bar. You look at him, seeing leaning crossing it, a pool of light, empty glasses and spilled drinks glinting around him. It's always dark in the compressor, but this cycle is packed. A lot of spacers mixing with the locals. Usually they run. Ethan spins a glass in the bar, or they go spend their savings on some local heavy I have to put down. They don't pay. What? Ethan gets to his feet, the glass falls and smashes, but he doesn't seem to notice. You think that's it? One round of drinks and we're even? Sleeper, come on. His hand comes to the rest, the butt of his handgun dangling from the chest holster. What's wrong with you? Ethan laughs hard, and the people around him turn to see what's happening. You think this is on me? I think someone in your position may have had a better idea of how this all works. I'm a freelancer, Sleeper, just like you. We both signed a contract with S&ARP, didn't we? Difference is my word means something. He closes his gap, stumbling a little. What did you think? You could just run away from that contract? Your debt? You could just steal that nasty little body of yours and take it for a joyride? Play human for a cycle or two? You don't understand. It's you, Sleeper, that doesn't understand. Some of us pay our debts. But it's all the harder because of idiots like you. So, I should thank you, Ethan nods. Heavy? For giving me such an easy job. Used to outlaws, you know? Real bounties? I knew catching sad little escapees like you was so easy. I would have changed clients ages ago. Someone shouts from the back of the bar for Ethan to shut up. He holds a finger in that general direction. Without turning around. They sound. Nothing to add? Ethan turns back and walks toward the bar. Good. Lesson learned. Ethan sits heavily back down on the stool and searches through his glasses for one with something left in it. The thing is, Sleeper, I can find you anywhere. It's actually wild that you haven't figured it out. That body isn't yours, and it will always betray you, no matter what. Finds a glass and downs the contents. So please go. I'll catch up with you whenever I need another. He laughs and taps the bar for another fresh drink. Leave. You turn your heel and are out of the cloying dark and the sweat stench of the compressor. You walk hard fast down the walkway, anger driving your footfalls into the metal, the rim like hammers. Fortunately so. Oh, did get an upgrade for that. Random scrap when engineer. That's tools, right? I feel like tools fits this character as well. Ah, so now I can do tools like this. You're in a group of residents trying to repair the tangled innards of an elevator motor. Managed to spot a problem. A burned out resistor. I think we should go to the bar. Damn, every time is the negative. Good service. Surprised how many negatives I've gotten from this, but I suppose sometimes it's just luck. Alright. Let's end the cycle again. Rolled some bad numbers there. Let's go up. So, I'm exploring the top. Send car. Send to the hub. I'm at the hub. The hub is thronging with spacers from across the galaxy. They can be a prickly bunch, but they know the place well. Not great. So I need to make money again fast. They are gone. $50-50. Can't do it anymore. The roll slides into the bottle, into the lumpy recycled glass. A pale grassy yellow under the overlooks warm lights. The spacers nods and takes the drink, bringing it up to their face, both hands like an offering bowl. This is good stuff. The stuff Tala says aged in wooden caskets stored in some closed-off part of the old station, among corroded wires and softly looping systems. Though sometimes it is hard to tell if Tala is joking. Either way, you like pouring this stuff. It gets on your fingers. If you rub them together, you can smell the mossy drink, cut through the anise, mushrooms, and wood like alcohol evaporates. You like those who order it too. The aged you roll is kept beneath the bar, open to order only by those who know it's there. In the quiet space sitting bar right now. There's a spacer. They're far enough away that you can freely watch them as they close the bottle and tuck beneath their bar. Call them a spacer because they bear the hallmarks. Pale, back-suited, bird bone, and hunched beneath the weight of a station's spin gravity. But the closer you look, the less you see a type. Pale eyes, almost gray, but kind. Delicate fingers that lightly drum the bar as if it was an instrument. Shock of a black hair almost covering forehead scar. Scars are something you have learned to value. They are what marks out your body from the hundreds, maybe thousands, who knows. Of similar models they have rolled out in S&ARP's biolabs. You find yourself rubbing one on your forearm, A rough little split, something from the good old days you might think of as a mark of defiance. Suddenly you hear a heavy clunking at the door. It creaks open and a huge cylindrical metal tank tumbles through, slamming on the floor. Shit! Ella races in behind, a whirl of hair and bright eyes. Ella? Sleeper! She ducks behind the cover bar. Can you help me with this? I'm coming. You come in around the bar and get to one side of the tank. Okay, says Tala. On my count. 1, 2, 3. You both heave the tank up to standing. Somehow you hold it in place, struggling to keep it steady. Where's this going? In the back, comes a voice from the tank. Somehow you manage to lug the huge thing into the back corner, where you place it in one corner, dwarfing the rest of the contents in the cramped space. As you do, you hear a crunch. You stand back and look at the expired rations oozing from under the tank. Oh, shit! Tala looks at you apologetically. I know you like those. Good riddance. Tala smiles. Oh, good. I thought maybe liking expired resins was some kind of sleeper thing. You push the crushed rations to one side. That's the end of that. Tala looks frustrated, rubs her shoulders. Francis, I swear to... Francis? Francis, I mentioned him already? My guy on the door? Deals with the suppliers. Tall. Besides, he was supposed to be on the back of the Etienne's up in the Greenway by now. Back in our Girol. He leans against the tank. Seems like he's got lost again. Or joined the Hifa commune? We need the Girol. There's 4 other bars near here. And the spacers sure as hell don't come to the Overlook for the ambience. She looks through the open door to check if anyone can hear her. She knocks on the holotank. But making matters into my own hands. Welcome, sleeper, to the Overlook Distillery. You look around the dark room. Needs some work. She picks some paint flaking off the metal walls. Well, I might need some help, though. He shrugs. You up for it? It'll be fun. Happy to help. Okay. She grabs you by the shoulders. I'm excited. She turns around and looks to the tank. I reckon we chop this thing in half. One half for fermentation, the other turn into still. We also need to gather ingredients. She turns back and looks at you. You look a little more like a chopper than a gatherer. She smiles. So how about you build the still and tub while I work on the rest? Oh wait, sleeper, I have an idea. Ella is grinning now, making you nervous. Make up for the rations. How about we put a kitchen in here too? Will it fit? We'll make it work. This is going to be great, she says to you herself. You look at the dented tank in the bare room. At least she has a visit. Ella nudges you to the back room, closes the door. As you go back to the bar, you hear the banging and thumping begin. The spacer finishes up their drink and nods in your direction as they leave. Can't quite tell if it's a gesture of sympathy or good luck. So much for the quiet shift. You drive. I need engineering for that, huh? Risky. But what isn't is the real question. We can go to the middle, but I feel like I should hack because these are zeros and ones. And hack that. And hack that. This is what you use the low numbers for, because otherwise you can't do anything with them. Okay, we got data. Data! Another encrypted key. HH3 access. Godspeed, little one. So that's gonna take time then. Three days? I don't have access to there. Oh, wait, I should have eaten something. Guess not. I am starving. Got some energy. Okay. I kind of need money more than anything. Is there anything I can use a 1? Let's go out in the world, see what we find. That's doing that job. 2. That's a 2. That's a 1. Okay, well, that does answer this one. So 5 is a 50-50. That'll take a while though. Jesus, I cannot get a positive on a 75% chance. It's more likely that I fail it than succeed on it, let's be honest. I can only do it. Only fail twice. I get scraps. I'm flickering as well, so I don't know, I feel like I'm in a death loop right now. I'm in a death spiral. Okay. Some more money. Well, I'm gonna get hunted again very fast. $75% chance. I need definitely to get lucky. Alright, well, I have to end the cycle. Oh. Okay, it doesn't actually lose. I don't lose anything for doing that. Yo, buddy, are you done? As you arrive, Fang comes striding towards you, taking you by surprise. Let's go, sleeper. He puts a hand on his shoulder and turns back the way he came. Follow his lead. He steps back into a passageway, guiding you to a downed rig towards the shipyard. Sorry for the hurry, but we got something of an opportunity. The data you ripped? Well done, by the way. Tells me Hardin is making a rare inspection of the Sidereal horizon this cycle. It's the perfect chance to confront him outside of that compound he hides in. Thing takes a sharp turn to a dimly lit passage. Confront him. That's right. It's the perfect time. Feng follows, slips through a dark service tunnel where, in the black, his water pipe drips. It's him, sleeper. The same Hardin Hurst. Our worm ripped out decades of records from mention him by name and an entire trail of documentation from the first days of Solheim collapse until now. He rode out the whole thing, slipped into Haven Hatch before first broke from the Union. He faces the tunnel, a hand rubbing the back of his head. I need you to understand something about Solheim, sleeper. I don't know what you know about the collapse, but it wasn't as instant as it sounds. It wasn't like Solheim was there, running this station one day and next, Carolyn's Union took power. Back then, Solheim knew this place was slipping away from them. As the palladium market collapsed, they tried to keep the contractors here working. The pay got smaller, the costs higher. People like my parents were forced to work non-stop just to keep a berth on the station and the water in their tanks. Oops. Solheim squeezed every last worker until the mistakes, the accidents, were coming in non-stop. And as new waves of contractors came in desperate to work, Solheim welcomed them, taking bribes instead of checking pilot licenses. The whole time Solheim was folding up, dragging up into court cases in the central systems, while this severed limb of a station still desperately tried to take it all it could. Solheim squeezed every last worker until the mistakes... Oh, wait. The same thing I read. The riots came after the collision at Dock 2. A young pilot and his men overloaded the Palladium, miscalculated his trajectory, and took out a section of the ring. Hundreds died, thousands panicked. My parents told me people were terrified, and the blame fell squarely on Solheim. People like to tell stories about Erlen, how he brought the factions together and spoke to the crowds, turfed out Solheim. Maybe that's true, but my mother, pregnant with me, locked herself up in the MAB and welded it to the dock while my father joined improvised crews trying to seal up the ragged edges of the gap. He never made it back. Fang pauses in the dark. They sealed up, though. By the time they did, Solheim was gone, abandoning every one of us to the black. Apart. Fang finally turns back to you, his eyes burning. From Shit's little heart, like Hardin, Shits who held their place, rode it out and slipped into the new structure like nothing had changed, standing shoulder to shoulder with those who had exposed at every step. Fang starts to walk again. That's why I can't just let him strut around the shipper. This time, his past catches up with him. Fang rejoins the main passageway, which is now wide and glass roof. Through the section of the ceiling, you can see ship's misconstruction, the flank hits, the flashes of plasma torches. The entrance of the shipyard is ahead. This is crazy. Fang turns to look at you. Don't come then. I won't force you. Stand across each of the corridor. What is it then, Sleeper? You coming or not? Sure. Fang grins. Let's go show this shithead some consequences. He strides to the shipyard's entrance, pushes through the doors, a web of corridors led through the complex, snatches of construction bays, always appearing through the windows. Ships are suspended like whale corpses, skeletal, posing. Fang shows it. Ben seems to know exactly where he is going, and before you long cross into a huge dry dock locked at one side of the sidereal for his horizon. A network of platforms and scaffolding cling to the ship's hull, filled with workers and equipment. The sound is stretched out by the vast space, so that welding, cutting, and sealing seems to come from everywhere at once. Both you and Fang spot them at the same time, in a group walking slowly across a gantry. And at the front, two men, one gesturing towards the ship, and the other stick-thin, cleanly dressed, with a shock gray hair. Hardin? You and Fang say this name in unison. Fang sets off at the staircase to the gantry, with you following behind. As you come to the same level of the group, one is past closing, the foreman gesturing to the work done throughout the dock, and Hardin nodding along. Hardin Hurst! Fang shouts across the noise, taking you by surprise. His voice bounces and comes back in a rippling echo. The figure's turn. Yes? Hardin asks quizzically, raising an eyebrow. He glances between you and Fang, and you see his gaze linger on your body, unsure why a sleeper might be in this place. You are a traitor, Hardin. Solheim, an executive who tried to hide there among its victims? Fang's voice is steady and strong. You stand for everything the Eye was rebuilt in the shadow of. Everything Erland stood for, everything Havigen stands for. You have no place in this station. For a moment, stillness descends on the group, as if everything was held in place by a rattle of construction. Hardin laughs. Well, good to meet you too. He glances around at those nervous around him. Some are smiling, others nervous. You are from the Systems Branch, are you not? Asks Hardin, inspecting Fang's clothing. Fang turns to the foreman. You need to call your security. This man is a corporate agent. The foreman glances at between Fang and Hardin. His hams. Hardin hams over his sides. Hardin leans towards him and says something inaudible. The foreman nods. It's true. As he begins to speak, Hardin turns his attention to you. And what would a sleeper know about that? You accuse me of being some corporate agent? What are you, if not exactly that? He looks around the group, who exactly are eyeing you with suspicion. You are a product of Esenarp. You have no place in the Havinger's shipyard. Who knows what signals you are sending back to your makers? More approval runs throughout the group. Fang holds a stick of memory. You guessed right. I am Systems. And I have records that link you directly to Solheim right here. Turns to the foreman again. So once again, I am asking you to take this man into the custody of the shipyard. Foreman remains still. Hardin's voice is calm, measured. If you have such data, why hasn't it been submitted to a members' meeting for a proper review? He shakes his head. I have nothing to hide, unlike a man who does not announce his name, who enters my shipyard with corporate property in tow. Damn, he called me a thing. That's rude. And tries to turn my own man against me. You hear it now, the echoing sounds of boots on the walkways coming from all angles at once, and then settling behind you. Please, says Hardin, submit the data through the correct channels, then we can talk. For now, however, you must leave. He gestures behind you in security detail, then hands on boxy black sidearms on their sides. Fang spits. Hardin, you shithead, you can't work out of this one. Security officer draws their weapon and levels it. Fang turns and stares down. Oh, Fang. You look at Fang, he shakes his head, he puts a hand on his shoulder. Let's go, says Fang as he pushes through security, heading back through the hall walkway. Once security has walked you through the shipyard, nudged you back into the corridor, Fang picks up the pace. Try to keep up as he slips into the shadows of an entrance. Fang is grinning ear to ear. You know, Sleeper, sometimes people are exactly how you expect them to be. Something pings in his pocket and he takes it out. In the slate web of connections, he starts drawing itself out, stretching them from a set of points around the ring. Got him, mutters Fang. What is that? That, Sleeper, is something our worm added to Hardin's personal slate. We're tracking his outgoing messages. Burns' grin looks ghostly at the upside uplight of the screen. The old ways are best. Spook them good enough and they'll give the game away. You jabs at the slate and you see the web is being drawn over a map of the ring. Lines bouncing from point to point. All these dots, these are Harding's bodies. The ones he is messaging right now. We are going to find them all. You tricked me? Not exactly. You did good. Ben glances around and slips the slate back into his pocket. We better split for now, Sleeper. But this is exactly what we needed. Good hunting. The pat of the shoulder, Feng drifts away back into the flow of people around the shipyard entrance. You watch him go, unsure where to be angry or impressed. Hey, I wanted my tracker gone. Son of a gun. I need to pay a tab, don't I? The press is quiet today. The usual crowds are everywhere. Pumping music and washes over a handful of spacers, a few drunks. Ethan is still in the same stool, the pool of light. His head is low, close to the bar, and the bartender is ignoring him. Approaching. As you get closer, he lifts his head and turns. Leaper! He turns to look at you. Time to pay up again, is it? Gestures the bartender. Come here and take their chits. Stay silent. Bartender ignores Ethan. Seems they've cut him off. Hey! Slams his button. Come here, this chits! The bartender ignores him and lets out a huge sigh, rubbing his eyes on one of his panels. He reaches towards his holster. The holster slips and his gun tumbles out, clatters to the bar and falls to the floor, bouncing to the ground between you. Both you and the bartender look at the gun and stare at it. Butterfinger, says Ethan. Puts out a hand and beckoning for you to give him the gun if you would. And the gun too. You slap the handle back of the gun at Ethan's hand. Thank you, he hisses. Now where was I? He lazily swings the gun past you at the bartender. Yes, leaving, he stands. Sleeper, well this has been fun. I think I wrung every last drop of this place. Time to go home. Let's go see SNR. Staying. Well, bounty pays half, but he levels the gun up to you and pulls the trigger. Gun clicks. By now, all attention in the bar on you and Ethan, who looks at his gun with a amused expression. Bartender raises an open hand, and in it are 10 shiny bullets. 10 shiny bullets he took out of Ethan's gun while he was asleep on the bar. Ethan smiles at him. Oh well, he says, and hits you in the back of the head with the butt of a gun. You stagger back at the drop of the knee. Somewhere nearby, the gun clatters to the surface. A hit, glancing blow, but it makes a vision whim. Though the blur you see, Ethan wrestles a small, thin slate from his belt and holds it up. Enough of this. I'm logging the job and calling it in. No more playing. Your head aches. Ethan taps through a few screen impatiently, and he swears and taps again. Starts shouting, a dull echo to your ringing ears. He starts screaming at the slate and throws it across the bar. Crashes down and grabs you by the chin, face close and heavy breath with drink. SNR just screwed me! He grins maniacally. They canceled the contract! He stands up. They canceled the contract! He shouts up to the ceiling compressor. You stand up, struggling to your feet, the sting of the hit fading. Ethan is rubbing his temples. His pale face, you hear a clicking sound. Coins are being counted, like bullets being loaded to a magazine. When you shake off the last of the blur, the bartender has Ethan's pistol trained on Ethan's head. Ethan stumbles back toward the middle of the room, all eyes trained on him. I'll kill all of you, he screams. He stumbles into the wall, spinning away towards the door. I'll be back for that, he shouts at the bartender, lunging out from the compressor. You steady yourself at the bar, catch your breath, rumble of conversation returns. The bartender goes out to say something, but he then thinks better of it and begins to clear the bar. After a while, you wander out to the light of the bright market, looking for Ethan around every corner. Huh. I didn't die. That's a surprise. Funny, because I basically just kind of gave up on him. It's like, you want to take me in? Sure, go ahead. Yeah, well, I don't have to pay that. Stabilizer's 100, so still expensive as hell. Can't do these because I don't have interface. So I could do unit. Needed a 1, which I do not have. Need a 1. So there's 1 1. 1 1 1. So that's 3 ones. 2. 2. Also, hunter is the next thing that comes up. I am starving. I need to go eat something. No chance you fail this. Control outcome. Okay. Now waiting to get that ship mines at some point. Not that would give me an energy. Okay. There is at the top as well. Send to the hub. I have the ability to socialize or engage. Only 2 things they can do here. There's a little ship over there. So, we can keep going, but I feel like this is one of those games that just it's gonna take a while to finish. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna call it here. Wait, do I have something? Oh, I have upgrades. Okay, now we're slightly better upgrading. And you can use scrap components to repair. I feel like just getting +1s is very valuable more than anything, because it lets me do skills. +2 is also very valuable, but +1ing is going to be value added. I am trying to avoid all problems that involve awareness and just basically just be a meathead in some degree. And an engineer is okay because I work with machines and tools, and it's like, okay, I'm not really I'm fixing problems. I'm tough. I'm capable of working with my head on, which engage is sort of weird because it's sort of like also a charisma skill based on what it seems like. It seems to be talking to people, dealing with problems. It's a weird interaction of how that skill works. But I'm gonna quit, and I'm gonna call it there for today. We'll have to come back to it some other time as we continue Citizen Sleepall. So let me just go to the end. So far, narratively speaking, the game is interesting. It's a lot of trying to piece out the details of every character's story and what's going on. Not exactly sure how invested I am in everybody's story. Like, some of the stories that I'm given are sort of like, oh yeah, this I have the Yakuza after me. Oh yeah, I'm robbing you blind. And so many people are like, I'm asking for help, and they're not really helping me in any way. They're like, just straight up, yes, that's very cool. Let me just let me just not do anything you told me, and just leave like that. And that makes me a little sad, actually. That's not cool. You should be helping me, not leaving me aside. But anyway, I'm sore from talking for 3.5 hours of just reading story, but it's not bad. I don't mind it. I do not mind narrative stories. They're just a little dry sometimes. Thank you very much for DF for the raid. Thank you very much for everybody else who stopped by. You're all very kind. Hope to see you all next time if possible. If not, that's okay. I'll survive, I guess. Don't forget that I believe you're cool. And peace and prosperity to all of you and mankind. Till next time. Ciao, ciao. Bye. Arrivederci. Hasta la vista.